Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Multiverse Nexus Wrestling Warzone. I am your host, Warzone General Manager Jerry Aldini, and with me, as always, is Mr. Pete McPherson.
I'm waving to the mic. You can't tell, but I am.
That's fair. Now, some of you may be wondering, Jerry, normally you also introduce Michael Montoya. You're right. I usually do. Michael got called into an HR meeting.
We may or may not see from him again.
Yes, we don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm sure we'll see him. Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
We'll find him somewhere.
Yeah. Now, the question is how traumatized. Of course, that's just how it goes.
No, he's fine.
Yeah,
you're
right. He's resilient. He bounces back. You know. Anyway, besides, let's focus not on what has been lost, but what is about to be gained, ladies and gentlemen. We have. You always will hear the discussion of a stacked card, but I guarantee you, today is a stacked card. We have not one, not two, but three, count them, three titles on the line today. We have Suplex Sam challenging Dagarik for the Warpgate Hardcore Championship. McMorgan challenging Cain for the Nexus Titan Championship. And in our main event, Hightower will take on Sir McCheese for the Big Oof Championship, with the added stipulation that the loser leaves MNW. And as if that weren't enough, we have Megablitz X, our Henshin hero, facing off against Semjax for the mega money in the big bank briefcase. Oh, you thought that was all? We have a match that there's no titles on the line, but still fraught with tension. The administration will take on the main event Mex.exe. Which side will Sawyer choose? So that, ladies and gentlemen, is what today is shaping up like. And on top of that, we have a showcase match. We have a trios match. We have action galore. But first, before we get into all of that, we have somebody who has paid a considerable amount of money to open the show in ring. So we might as well go in there to the ring now, Pete. If you're ready.
Ready as I'll ever be.
Fair enough. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Sir Unklydunk.
I mean, there are worse people that I want to hear from.
Good evening, Multiverse Nexus Wrestling audience. I am Sir Unklydunk. You, of course, knew I am. I'm the most important man in this company, because I'm rich. But that's partially why I'm here to speak to you today. Yes, I am a wealthy, wealthy man. But I have standards, ladies and gentlemen. Standards, I tell you. And while I look down upon you all, I look down upon you all equally. I do not differentiate between the hard-working man, the person cleaning up my gold Lamborghini, or the robot who is doing my laundry. So to hear our Sawyer disparage Zacho Duo for being a robot just gets under my skin. If you're going to disparage Zacho Duo, do it because of his wrestling talent, not because of how he was built. Sir, we have standards here. But speaking of which, while I agree that the administration now needs to be opposed because they're interfering with business, really, do we need a union? Sir, unions, no, it goes against unions. When I hear the word union, I think communism. That's right, it's communism. And as a adherent capitalist, I must oppose communism in all its forms. Be it a union, be it some fool from Cyber Siberia coming forth and trying to extol all of its good qualities. No, sir, I will not stand for it. So, in summation, all of them suck.
Unklydunk with some curt language from them. So,
yeah, I mean that's. So what I got from this is he hates the administration, he hates unions, and he hates communism. But he doesn't discriminate in any of that. I think that's what I'm boiling that all down to, Pete.
fair enough.
So okay. That's I look forward to hearing from various people on various things. In fact, you know, we have some audio now that we've heard from Unklydunk. I mean, one of the people I think was running down during that did speak up today. So, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we go to this piece of audio now from the Cyber Siberian himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Nice Ice.
Glory for me and not for thee, huh? What kind of man resorts to violence to make his followers see his vision? What kind of man manipulates the young and weak? What kind of man calls himself master? The only people who call themselves master are either the perverts or the slave owners. Which one are you? I want to know where my old friend went. Where is the man who rushed to the hospital with me in Jungles when my second daughter was born? Is that man dead? I do not know. The only thing I know now, for real, is that there will be blood shed. When all of this is done, and you are lying down, fading consciousness on the mat, staring into the lights in an arena face first, I want you to know I am sorry. Not because I kicked your ass. No, no, no. I'll be sorry that I had to!
That, of course, Nice Ice referring to the issues going on with Cloud9, who, let's be honest, are having their own issues, as we saw last week, Pete.
This is true.
It's crazy time out there. It's just there's so much going on, and with us, I mean, Pete, we are only 6 weeks away from Multivania.
It is coming at us fast.
It is. I mean, this is one of the reasons the brass came down and said, wait, we need to get the titles moving. That's why we have 3 titles on the line this week and 2 titles on the line next week, by the way. Because next week we've got the tag titles and the Multiverse Heavyweight Championship on the line. It's so that we can then figure out what Multivania is going to look like. But with that said, I think the best thing we can do right this very moment is go to ring for our opening match.
Let's head down there.
Your opening match is a 8-man showcase match. Introducing first, Juan.
And here he is, one chance, looking for that next chance to prove himself. This is a man who has gone after titles. This is a man who has, let's face it, changed the tenor of the multiverse with actions at one of our previous pay-per-views. So here he is, one chance, once again looking to show what he's made of. And while he's entering really quickly from Buck Bumble, B-Day may have been yesterday, but the party doesn't have to stop. Let's do this Warzone. And with that, here he is, as he's making the way. This showcase match, it is kicking off what is possibly going to be an historic episode of Warzone. And I don't say that lightly, Pete.
No, you do not. You've got Juan in the one position.
You know, his favorite position. He always likes to be number one.
Of course.
And introducing next, Mr. Nigma.
Member of Mystery Inc., Mr. Enigma, the partner of Papusa Monkey, and the man, if there is a mystery, he will uncover it. And while Enigma makes it down to ringside, tweeting out on social media in response to Unklydunk, it's the Janitor. Your union busting on behalf of the administration? That's just another example of why the Nexus Union of Wrestlers must be formed. We are all worthy of respect and will not back down for a new day. And Mr. Enigma, so far 2 masked men. Interesting.
And introducing next, Rapture Newroad.
And there he is, everyone's favorite tiefling. It's Rapture Newroad, who last night, hell of a match from his proteges in Dungeons and Destiny on Flashbang, who almost cost a couple of members of the Flashbang roster their careers. So VOD is still up if you want to check out that episode of Friday Night Flashbang. But here is Rapture looking for another chance to shine. Also, Rapture, thank you for that latest Rapture Beauty gift pack. The moisturizer is great.
And introducing fourth, Aiden 0.
here comes the Cyberpunk prodigy. It's been kind of rough for Aiden lately. You know, with him not being able to take down Ginger Boy, with High Voltage losing that match to 3 Kings. So here he is in showcase action. By the way, the rest of High Voltage will be in tag team action later on in the program. In the meantime, tweeting out on social media, I guess Beowulf just arrived in on his motorcycle and he's tweeting out, "Let's get this started."
We are indeed getting it started.
We are indeed Beowulf. It is and by the way, great match last week, Beowulf. Great showing, and you know, you would still be, I'd say, in my opinion, you're still a potential contender for that Nexus Titan Championship. We'll see what happens today with McMorgan and Cain. In the meantime, we will be right back after this commercial message. And we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, let's head back down to ringside for who is coming out next.
You get a little twizzle on the twazzle.
I will be twizzling that twazzle as we speak, Pete.
Constantinople!
And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the constant nightmare, Constantinople, who you know he is going to be riveted to a monitor backstage during our main event, where his partner in Chained Hell, Hightower, takes on Sir McCheese. If Hightower or McCheese lose, they have to leave MNW. If Hightower doesn't capture the big oof, where does that leave Constantinople?
That's right. We tonight, somebody is leaving MNW.
And this is shaping up. We have 3 masked men and Aiden, who comes out masked, but, you know, doesn't quite count. Maybe that's what Aiden should have done to beat the 3 Kings. Masks. In the meantime.
And introducing next,
Glacirus, he is the master of street lucha, and there's been a lot of issues between him of late and his former tag team partner Bart Ender, but in the end, Glacirus is a singles competitor and is looking to hold up the honor of lucha, no matter what, no matter when. Always a crowd favorite. You think it's be fair to say he is MNW's original Technico? Sure. Either way, here we go with whoever is next.
and introducing next, Sir.
There he is. Speaking of the troubles Glacirus has been having, Power Surge, former protege of Bart Ender. And he and Glacirus have had their own run-ins of late, and I guess that's not over, because here he is, one of the young bucks of our roster, and he is looking to burst free and make a name for himself. Maybe tonight's the night. But he's still got a long way to go. And he has to face 7 other men to get there tonight.
See who our 8th is.
And introducing in the 8th and final spot, Alicester Evergreen.
And ladies and gentlemen, making his Multiverse Nexus Wrestling debut, Alicester Evergreen. And we're going to have a talk with the production truck, because that is our Sawyer's music, and clearly we need to get this man his own song. I mean, that's our Sawyer's music, although as H.R. Sawyer, he uses different music, and oh god, we're going to have to face that tonight in that trios match, the admin versus meme. We don't know which side our Sawyer is going to side with. Maybe this music's going to be available soon. I don't know. Meanwhile, newcomer, we don't have a lot of info on him yet. This was he was hired by Human Resources. They haven't actually told me anything about him.
Making their debut in ring tonight.
All right, here he goes. And immediately going after Power Surge is the newcomer. Meanwhile, Glacirus facing off against Rapture. Nigma facing off against Aiden. And the Constant Nightmare, well, now he's going after Power Surge, while Juan Chance is taking one chance against the newcomer. So it is, as I said, a night of chaos, a night of opportunity, and we're starting it off. Who do you like in this matchup, Pete?
I'm going to have to go with one of our veterans. I'm going to have to go with Aiden Xero on this.
All right, that's good. You know what? I have a feeling. I don't know why. I'm keeping my eye on Constantinople today. He is, there's a lot on the line with him today. He has a lot on the line today in the main event, and he's not even in it.
It's very true.
So, reverse bulldog by Nigma on Aiden, and now he's going to pin the newcomer, and Alicester kicks out right away. Meanwhile, outside the ring, Power Surge and Constantinople in constant battle. And
keeping themselves separated from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, everyone. Well, Alicester is now outside the ring, recovering from a brutal attack by Rapture Newroad. I guess that's Rapture's way of saying, "Welcome to the show, rookie." That means we now have 2 rookies this year. We have Alicester, and of course we have Jaunt Tristram, who's been having a great showing since his debut.
They have indeed.
Looks like Constantinople and Power Surge are just having their own little match outside the ring, while everyone else is... Oh, Aiden has fallen out.
No, Power Surge and Constantinople definitely seem to be going a little bit more of a brawl.
Yeah, that's. I guess they both feel I have something to prove. Meanwhile, I think Aiden is trying to find what his motivation is, since screw you, Ginger Boy doesn't seem to be something that really works in this match. Ginger Boy, by the way, will be in action today with the rest of the Three Kings. Just as a,
Constantinople seems to be setting up for something. Might be trying to put an end to their fight.
That was a great sit-down power bomb by the Constant Nightmare, rolling over the power surge.
Power surge has been eliminated.
And Constantinople has gotten the first elimination of the match on power surge. And now he's back in the ring going after Juan, but also facing off against the newcomer at Evergreen. Meanwhile, Glacirus is just delivering a brutal series of kicks to the Cyberpunk prodigy. And Nigma is in the ring with our favorite tiefling. Great head scissors takedown by Rapture Newroad. Knocking Nigma out of the ring. Oh, tiefling gonna fly. Those wings are gonna get a workout. Oh, it looks like Alicester was gonna go kick Rapture, but he was just a little too late.
Didn't get there in time.
Instead, he is going to do a head scissors takedown on Constantinople.
Mr. Enigma has been eliminated.
And with that, Nigma is out courtesy of one chance. And we are down to 6. It's even again. And this is one of the amazing things about a showcase match. The nature and complexity of the match changes with every elimination. So, meanwhile, we are waiting. Because, of course, one of your first goals in any showcase match is to get to the final 4.
One chance going to pin on the new person.
And a kick out at 2 for Alicester Evergreen, our new rookie to the roster. Oh! Looks in ring. It looks like was a 3-way match. Now it's Glacirus. Oh! Facing off against the Cyberpunk prodigy, who is now focusing his attention on the Constant Nightmare. Meanwhile,
One chance has been eliminated.
and Alicester Evergreen with his first ever pin in MNW, eliminating One Chance. Standing Bulldog by Rapture Newroad on Constantinople. Now getting whipped into the corner by Evergreen. Thrown out of the ring and being followed by... Oh, what's Evergreen setting up for? All right. Through the ropes. Torpedo attack.
Rapture Newroad has been eliminated.
The second elimination for Evergreen. Our rookie having a great showing in his first showcase match and his MNW debut. Focusing on Constantinople only to get cut down by Glacirus. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in the final 4. And the ref was trying to... Glacirus had Evergreen in a pinning predicament, but the ref couldn't get there in time. Oh, and meanwhile... Well, Aiden was trying to submit Constantinople, and our rat ogre friend said no. And we'll reverse lariat by the Cyberpunk Prodigy. And now, Evergreen, dropping Glacirus on his head. Meanwhile, a suplex on the Cyberpunk Prodigy. Ref doesn't know which way to go. 2.
Glacirus has been eliminated.
The third elimination for Evergreen. 2. He doesn't quite get it on Constantinople. Oh. And it's... Aiden is working to take out both. Oh, he is going nuts as Aiden Xero. Bringing Evergreen to the center of the ring. And now tying him up. Rings of Saturn. And Evergreen flips out and kicks Aiden in the back. And right now, this is what happens when you're down to 3. It becomes a triple threat match, only with elimination. So here's the question: who is going to take this? The Cyberpunk Prodigy, the Constant Nightmare, or the newcomer? Oh, just wrecking Aiden's legs. Can't quite decide what he wants to do with him. Going after that that calf attack, or I guess that thigh attack, sorry. Actually, specifically, ladies and gentlemen, those are the quads. Oh, jawbreaker. Oh, he busted open. Kick out at 2 by the newcomer. In comes Constantinople, and he, says no, miss. Oh, jawbreaker, never mind. It's going fast and furious now. I think Aiden feels he has a lot to prove.
Going for the pin.
Kick out at 2. Aiden, of course, still smarting on not being able to put down the 3 kings. Oh, now just getting his back beaten in by the newcomer. And a lung blower. And now it's a battle between Constantinople and Evergreen. Evergreen making a great showing in his debut match, but he's facing a veteran and, let's be honest, a powerhouse.
Absolutely.
I think sometimes people forget how powerful Constantinople is when you compare him to, say, Hightower, but still. Oh, right in the jaw, and here he goes, up, and, backbreaker.
Let's see if it was enough.
We're about to find out. Up, and
he's setting up.
Setting it up. And the sit-down power bomb, and into the pin. 1, 2, 3.
Alicester Evergreen has been eliminated.
So, Alicester, 3 eliminations. Great showing. Got into the final 3, but could not face the power of the Constant Nightmare. And now he is stretching out Aiden Xero.
Jerry, I'm just going to throw it out there. My pick is still in it.
That's true, but so is mine.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, both our picks are... We did pretty good today, Pete, on that front.
Man, it's almost like we do this for a living.
Weird, yeah. Michael probably would have picked, I don't know, the first person to get... No, it was Juan. He'd never picked Juan. He probably would have picked, I don't know, Glacirus because he loves street lucha. Oh, working on those knees again. Just... Aiden is the man that usually says, screw your neck. I can think Constantinople is saying, screw your knees. Aiden trying to escape, but this is a Falls Count Anywhere match. He can go after you. And he is! Out, blow, punch, and a kick in response. Now these two are just going back and forth. Two men with, let's be honest, probably a lot to prove. And here he goes, up and, oh, right against the hardest part of the ring goes the cyberpunk prodigy. At this point, it is clearly the Constant Nightmare in control of the matchup.
Taking a chance to catch a breath.
I mean, when you can, and especially in situations like that, that's not a bad idea at all. Now he's just celebrating. Oh, this doesn't look good. This looks bad for Xero. And again, that sit down. Oh, and there he goes. That's how he took out Alicester. 1, 2.
Constantinople.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Constantinople of Chained Hell wins this showcase match. And is that going to be an omen of how things are going to work out for his friend in that matchup later in our main event? Well, we'll have to find out. But right now, congratulations, Constantinople. You went through 7 other wrestlers and you came out on top. And you see, now I'm curious about something there, Pete. Let me look something up. Actually, while I'm looking this up, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have some audio from Constantinople. It's interestingly enough, kind of a message to Constantinople from his former tag partner, Istanbul. So why don't we, while I look up this bit of information I'm curious about, why don't we hear from Istanbul?
Dear friend, looks like we got our namesakes. You became like fire, I became a merchant. Since my return, many people have asked me what I will do to avenge you, to help you. I do not wish to stand against you, but know that I do want something from you. One last fight. You and I, friend. Let me know if you accept Constantinople.
So, apparently, Istanbul would love to get one last match up against his old friend, Constantinople. And so, the thing I was looking up was Constantinople's standings in the showcase matches. Ladies and gentlemen, this was his first win. So, Constantinople does join the club of winners in showcases. Although he still has a long way to go if he wants to catch up to the likes of Kelly. But it's a good start. He is, shall we say,
Kelly, queen of the showcases.
Queen, or as she likes to call herself, the boss of the showcases. Sure. But in the meantime, with everything that's been going on, ladies and gentlemen, we here in Multiverse Nexus Wrestling Warzone, if anything else, we want to be as fair and impartial as we possibly can be. And so it is in the spirit of that fairness and that impartiality that we go to the ringside, because there is somebody who would like to issue a rebuttal to our opening of the show comments from Sir Unklydunk. So let's now hear from the janitor. Ladies and gentlemen of MNW, I have an announcement to make and a rebuttal to my old friend Unklydunk. In light of recent events, I think it is high time that we band together in a way that will protect us from the unjust machinations of Registered Anon and his so-called administration. We've seen in recent weeks where Anon has abused his position as the head of human resources and interfered with the workings of Warzone. His most recent revelation that he is working to oust Sacco Duo as champion for the crime of not being human is unacceptable. Therefore, I have decided, in order to protect us from not just these actions, but for the future, we must form a union. I, as both a wrestler and a janitor, have begun work to form the Nexus Union of Wrestlers. I cannot do this alone, however. I must call upon like-minded individuals to join me, so that we may protect the rights of all in MNW. Help me, wrestlers of MNW, to usher in a new day. Looks
well,
like
Ed, here's your first detractor.
Yeah, here's somebody who has got, I guess, a bone to pick with the janitor on that front, and it's our head of HR. It's what? Excuse me. The hell?
Apparently, we caught him post luau.
Something.
Pre-luau.
Janitor, what are you on about, buddy? Why are you bringing all these bad vibrations to the ring? I don't know what you're upset about. Nothing's going on. I would never disparage a robot. They're fine wrestlers and fine parts of our organization. I'm not sure what you're upset about. What kind of revisionism are you trying to do, Anon? You very clearly came out here last week and said the reason you're pushing Big Papa Plutonium as the #1 contender is that you do not want a non-human robot as the champion, as in your position as head of HR. You said that clearly. Janitor, Daddy-o, I would never say anything like that. That is bad karma, dude. I would never say that. That's uncool. And I'm nothing but trying to be cool, Daddy. So I'm not sure what you're talking about. I don't remember coming out and making anything like that. Have you hit your head? No, you will not come into this ring and gaslight me. Not when we have videotape from last week. And you have offended, well, just about everyone. I can only think of maybe 3 wrestlers outside of the administration that side with you, and even one of them doesn't like it. Administrate their Daddy. Why would I do? Why would I work for the man? That is just not my bag. Do not. I just was chilling, looking at the beach, looking to catch some cool waves, and then they tell me, oh, you need to be in the office. And then I hear you saying all these mean things. It hurts my feelings. Anon, this is the strangest conversation I've ever had with you. And considering our history, that's really saying something. You know, you're not going to deter me. We of the Nexus Wrestling must protect ourselves. We must have a union so that we can work for our common good. Daddy, if that's what you need to do, don't let me stand in your way. I got no problem. Unions are great things. Go for it, baby! But I gotta warn you, I got a feeling you're poking a bear that you don't want to. There are things happening that I don't think you see. Maybe you want to be careful what road you go down to. So that's friendly advice. I like you. I really do. This is the most confusing moment in my life, and I had to teach Sir McCheese how to drive. All right, fine. You know what? You officially gave your blessing. I heard it. There will be no union busting. Well, maybe from my old friend Unklydunk, but who cares? They're very well. Consider me the new shop steward for the Nexus Union of Wrestlers. It is, as we like to say, a new day. And with that, sir, do you have any final statements? I didn't think so. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I have work to do.
I could only say Brian Wilson would approve.
Sure. I mean, that was a tactic. Something happened. I don't know what, but something happened. You know what? We've, you know, and I'm not going to dwell on it. We still have a hell of a lot of stuff that has to happen today. We need to move on with the show. Although, interestingly, there have been a lot of people having various issues with what has been going on, including a lot of our younger talent. There's a lot of unrest from the group that has come to be known as the Bad Batch. So we've heard some things about that. Why don't we let's go to this audio we had, and well, we'll see what the Bad Batch is actually thinking.
Brothers, thank you for meeting here on such short notice.
Is there a point to this meeting, Butler, or is this just another one of Blood Money's plots?
Not everything I do has an ulterior motive, Beowulf. I've called us all here because of what's been happening lately.
The administration has been flexing its muscle for months now, and quite frankly, we're getting sick of it.
They have been spewing a lot of shit lately, but what does this have to do with us?
Well, my dear aquatic friend, for one thing, they've certainly shown a clear pattern of racism/speciesism when it comes to the roster. Who's to say they wouldn't screw over your aspirations when it comes to contendership? Who's to say they wouldn't screw any of us over? I mean, they've done it to us.
From what I've seen, you've done a fine job screwing yourselves over.
You want to say that again, you little...
Nakano. Regardless of what we have or haven't accomplished on our own, collectively, we've all made a big impact on this roster. Think about what kind of impact we could inflict on the administration. What we have to do is put our differences aside and work together.
You expect us to work together given the history each of us has with each other?
Big Boss managed to build his unit with the ranks of his fallen enemies into a cohesive unit. Why can't we do the same?
Because Big Boss was a charismatic and confident leader, unlike you two?
I'm not trying to be a leader. I'm trying to do what needs to be done for the good of MNW's future.
Hang on a second, we're having trouble with the audio. We're going to see if we can fix that real quick. Hold your horses, folks.
Notice.
Is there a point to this meeting, Butler, or is this just another one of Blood Money's plots?
Not everything I do has an ulterior motive, Beowulf. I've called us all here because of what's been happening. Trying to be a leader. Trying to do what needs to be done for the good of MNW's future. Besides, we don't need a leader. They call us the Bad Batch, and the actual Bad Batch were a bunch of misfits who didn't need a leader to be successful. They just needed each other. It doesn't need to be a 24/7 type of alliance. All I'm proposing is a truce to take down the administration. After that, it's business as usual. What do you say?
Well, the enemy of my enemy is still my enemy, but right now you are the lesser of two evils.
Better to trust the devil ray you know, than the devil ray you don't.
I'm somebody who believes absolute power corrupts. Absolutely.
Well, me and Payne have already settled our differences, so we already have each other's backs. But just as a warning, any of you stab me in the back, the deal is off. I'm not only fighting this for our sister, but for the rest of the multiverse. The administration needs to end now before they become unstoppable. But to answer your question, you have my sword.
Excellent. A toast to our brotherhood. To the Bad Batch.
To the Bad Batch!
So, looks like we have a union forming, we have the Bad Batch uniting against the administration. Is this what they mean by dogs and cats living together, Pete? Or Pete?
Yeah, no, I'm speechless.
That's fair. I'm like, okay, I didn't expect that. It's getting interesting here. In the meantime, while things are getting interesting, we have a show to do and in-ring action to get to. So let's get into our next matchup. Ladies, get ready. Ladies and gentlemen. Don't want to exclude anyone. Let's get ready for some in-ring action.
The following is a tag team match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first. Representing High Voltage, Wonderful!
Yeah, I've noticed of late, High Voltage has been coming out individually. I think that's something that, I think it started with Aiden, wanting to make sure they were getting some focus during that feud with the Three Kings. But apparently this match, there's a little bit of a grudge factor here. This match was made because the team that High Voltage is facing were giving them, as the kids like to say, a ration of shit over the loss to the Three Kings. Apparently High Voltage was giving it back due to that team's recent losses.
And introducing their tag team partner, Leonid Sanchez.
And there he goes, ladies and gentlemen. It is the third member of High Voltage, Leonid Sanchez. A man who knows a little something about duality. Maybe he can explain what the hell was going on earlier with Anon.
Maybe. Although I fear that it may be more than just one.
Yeah, I know. That was,
And introducing their opponents.
And here they come, former tag team champions Devin and Jack Abbott. Shoot Nation, yep. They were giving High Voltage crap for what happened with the Three Kings, and High Voltage asked, and where are those shiny belts you used to wear? And now it's become a, all right, put your money where your mouth is, get in the ring. Plus, you know, at some point, after the Outlaws face All Odds for the belts next week, somebody's going to have to step up and be there for, you know, Multivania. I've lost the power to talk, Pete. It's getting crazy here.
We've had a lot dumped on us in the past 15, 20 minutes, so
fair. I mean, I said this was going to be a potentially historic episode of Warzone, but not in the ways I've seen so far. We haven't even gotten into our title matches yet. And over the ropes goes Devin, courtesy of Wonderball. You know, when you think about it, there is possibly a lot on the line. I mean, both these teams need to prove themselves. High Voltage needs to make a comeback after what happened with the Kings. And frankly, Shoot Nation could use a bit of a comeback after what happened with the whole situation with the belts.
Devin needing to get it back in the ring here soon.
He does.
Oh,
yeah,
are we going to see? Oh, he got in just in the nick of time.
There we go. Yep, he is back in. All right, we are good. That was a scary moment, Pete.
Yeah, there was some attempts at Galaxy Brain tactics there from Devin. Wonderball able to get in the nick of time.
And now the match continues with the Scorpion taking on Wonderball. And now is he going finally? Yep, it looks like here he comes. It's Leonid Sanchez. And here we go. Setting it up and floating over. Oh, never mind. Leonid, I guess, had that one scouted.
Scorpion looking for the tag. Leonid doing his best to keep that from happening.
No, instead getting a stump puller for his trouble. Oh, but blocking Leonid and oh, hammer strike. Now, oh, back and forth, back and forth. Punches and counters, and Leonid is in the wrong part of town, tagged by the Scorpion. Oh!
Powerful combination by the tag team.
You know, and that probably a move they probably developed when they were working as ring crew and had to pass things to each other.
Leonid back up on their feet. Tag is made.
In comes Wonderball. Again, some good teamwork also by High Voltage. Both teams, expert tag team wrestlers, know what they're doing.
High Voltage definitely responding to that previous tag team maneuver with one of their own.
I think that's just telling Shoot Nation, yeah, you might be former champs, but not our first rodeo, bucko. I mean, the bucko is just how I assume they talk.
Sure.
Actually, it's weird after what we had earlier with Anon because Wonderball is, you know, he likes a bit of surfing. Being brought back to the red corner, not a good place for Wonderball.
He too likes to rip those wicked curls, brah.
Devin, it looks like he can't make up what he wants to do, and he's up, and flying
board back elbow.
Look a little bit like it could have been elbow. I mean, never mind. Here we go. Oh no, this doesn't look good. Again, Shoot Nation trying to prove who's the better tag team, who has the better combination of moves. And now kick. He's setting him up. And ladies and gentlemen, that was the Wonder Ball.
They did, in fact, look like a ball.
And now
Wonder Ball setting up.
And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Ban this! Yep, he's got it locked in. The ban this locked in, and the Scorpion able to power his way out. That is some great work by Jack Abbott, again, showing how he and Devin managed to become tag team champions and hold on to those belts as long as they did. So that is
Jack taunting Leonid from across the ring.
That is very much a normal part of how these matches go. Also, I got a note passed to me. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to remind you that tonight's episode of Warzone is sponsored in part by Lowe's. But why? Also, Shoot Nation sponsored by Lowe's. Again, but why? And hot tag by the Scorpion while Wonderball was celebrating. Drop kick by Devin. Another one. Going for a third. Devin telling Wonderball to come get some, and Wonderball went, well, sure, don't mind if I do. One, two. Kick out at 2. Now he's just trying to wear Devin down. One. Kick out at 1. Now, Devin just, Wonderball going upstairs. Dive, but nobody home. This doesn't look good. Looks like Devin is setting up. And here it goes. STF. Wonderball able to power out. These two teams are very evenly matched.
Wonderball awfully close to the rope, so with that, didn't even need to use them.
And it looks like, yep, here we go. Another ban this being locked on by Wonderball in response. And Devin taps out.
And your winner, High Voltage.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. High Voltage getting a much-needed victory after everything that's happened. Maybe this is going to be the turnaround for the boys. I'm sure Aiden Xero is proud of them. I'm sure he's backstage going, great job, guys. Great job.
Thumbs up.
And not still mulling over the fact that he couldn't win his own match. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got so much going on today. So many people have so many things to say. It's been a crazy week in Multiverse Nexus Wrestling. Anon's comments last week, despite the fact that he can't seem to remember them, incited a lot of people. One of which, interestingly enough, is a member of his own administration. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go now. Well, before we get there, though, all right, I am looking at all the things. Let's start with this commentary from the one, the only, Maximilian Thunder Thighs.
Okay, so, on the one side, Registered Anon, the Outlaws, the Administration, possibly Lawson. That's 1, 2, 3, 5, 9, 10 people. Okay, that's a lot of people for me to fight. Who have I got? Well, there's me and Jerry. That's not a lot of confirmed people. And I don't know if the Janitors Union group is going to be up and ready in time to help us. That's not great odds. Plus, we really don't have anybody on the inside, while they hold the brass's ear. I really could use some help with it. Huh? It's encrypted. Only one other person I know can use encryption at this level. All right, Sawyer, I know it's you, Omni-Geek.
No one was left who could remember how it happened. How the Nexus had fallen under darkness. At least no one who could do anything. No one who could oppose Sir McCheese. No one who could challenge the administration's power. Or so Dr. Grimm and Anon believed. Maxie. See, I was just gonna keep working behind the scenes. But my hand is being forced. Grimm has activated his device, and this administration thing reminds me a bit too much of the academy back home. Looks like you and Jerry are gonna need a hand. Good thing I know a thing or two about uncovering and stopping conspiracies. Also, Jerry, the only one who could stop them? I'm hurt, but unsurprised. And Anon still never caught me. Funny that all these things coincide, and that both Grimm and the Outlaws have showed up at Flashbang recently. The dots are aligning, and we don't have much time. Can't help you in person yet, but I can support. As the one administrative role Anon forgot about. System admin.
Okay, if Omni-Geek's willing to help, that's great. First, I gotta call up the Janitor and the Nexus Union of Wrestlers. I'm sure they'll be able to help. Next, I gotta get a hold of Meme. Maybe they could use some backup. I should reconcile with Unklydunk. I need all the help I can get. This isn't over, administration. We're building a team, and we're taking you down.
And speaking of teams and the administration, another interesting person we need to hear from right now. The administration's head of finance, Forrest the Fortress Wade.
Not gonna lie, I did not see this coming. Granted, you did do your best to distract me, and for a while, you succeeded. But now, administration, now that you've shown your true colors, do you expect me to just sit back and do nothing? Tell me, just who the hell do you think I am? Certain types shouldn't be championed? Who decided that? HR only applies to humans? Who decided that? I may be a member of this administration, but trust me, I will stop this by any means necessary. You see, Unkley has shown you a small sample of the power of money. Well now, it's time to show you some real user power. And if you doubt my resolve, let me remind you what you're up against. I am the immovable object in your path. From the Olofs to meme to the bloodline. I am the wall to protect them all from you. I am the fortress, and you shall not pass. Row, row, fight the power.
Pete, what is that old saying about the anger of a good man?
Is worth more than two in the bush?
Sure, let's go with that. So while we get ready for this next match, also the janitor is sending out an official message on his Twitter account saying, since we have Anon's blessing, weirdly, we are now taking applications for the Nexus Union of Wrestlers. Please stop by my office in maintenance if you are interested. So there you go. In the meantime, we have trios action. Let's head down to ringside.
The following is a six-man tag match. Introducing first, the Absolute Unit.
I mean, let's be honest, who doesn't love the Absolute Units? They are one of the most popular trios in Multiverse, Nexus, Wrestling, Absolute Washington, TJ the Mint Gable, and our head of finance and the one good man in the administration, Forrest, the Fortress Wade. This is just always a pleasure to see these men come out and put on a show. I think the administration made a little bit of a mistake. I mean, of course, if you're going to have a head of finances, you'd go to Forrest Wade, but I think they forgot that he is a man of high character, and moral fiber, and conviction. So, and that shows the administration couldn't wear that down, despite their hardest attempts.
And introducing their opponents, the Three Kings.
And on the other side, the group that took down High Voltage and another of our top trios, the Three Kings. Interestingly enough, if you've been paying attention over on Flashbang, Ginger Boy has been getting called out by his old friend Graven, the Chocolate Zombie. It's like, we need brass permission to have a crossover match, but we're looking at it. I'm talking with Lawson. It's getting kind of weird talking to Lawson. Anyway, we're off. And Forrest telling Strongman, come here!
Starting things off with a big old slam.
Yeah, and I think this is Absolute Washington wanting to try and say something to Strongman. Not sure what. He's basically taking a very almost passive response. He hasn't done a lot of strikes yet. Down goes Washington as Strongman follows. The youngest member of the Three Kings, Strongman Bell, but also the team's, well, kids love the term, he's the hoss. I think everyone's hoping to see this matchup end up with Strongman and Forrest in the ring together.
Strongman got to be careful with the count. Gets it back in the ring.
Yeah, he's always been known. I think Strongman would hate Galaxy Brain tactics at this stage. Unfortunately, Washington in the wrong corner, and now he is going to get to see the teamwork of the Brothers Bell. That's just the height, the strength, and the agility all at once in one blow. And again, Washington in the bad corner. Flyboy.
Signature Bell Brothers.
Yeah, he loves those running bulldogs. Finally, a knee to the face by Absolute Washington. What are you doing, Washington? You need a tag. I think he was going over to tag Forrest and got cut off by Flyboy. Oh, and Flyboy ran afoul of the Fortress. Although, and I think TJ slipped. I think the Absolute units are like, you know what? Oh. Washington I think that was intentional. I think Washington was intentionally throwing Flyboy into Forrest's legs, which, let's be honest, are good stand-ins for tree trunks. Often the hardest part of the ring. Just a moment. Looks like we're having some technical difficulties here, folks. All right, looks like everything is back in order. Phyllis is telling me they've solved whatever that technical issue is. And we're back in action, and Ginger Boy has been tagged in by Flyboy. So all three members of the Kings, and finally, here comes the Fortress.
Ginger Boy gets tagged in, takes a clothesline for his troubles.
And here he comes, picking him up, and slamming him down. You know, Forrest might be a soft-spoken individual, but he, here it is. I was going to say, he brings it back, and here's the moment everyone has been wanting. The Fortress versus the
part of this match.
Yep. And again, that deceptive agility of Forrest. You don't expect a man that size to move that agilely.
The strength of Strongman Bell.
I mean, that's just ridiculous.
On display.
I mean, how do you pick up? Oh my God! And the impact. How do you pick up?
The reason he's called Strongman.
I mean, yeah, but that's still. He's picking up the Fortress. Yeah, but if somebody could take this kind of fight to Wade, I would say it would be Strongman. Was he just doing a pop and lock dance in the ring?
Oh, going in for the pin.
1, 2, and nope, just one. Kick out at 1 by Forrest. And that's what kicked the back, and I think when he kicked Forrest in the back, Forrest was like, and I took that personally.
Oh, Strongman is setting up for something. Oh, never mind.
I think he was setting up for something, and Forrest went, I don't think so. So instead, he's just going to have to spin him around. I think he's going for it again. And I think I know what we're going to see. Yep, it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Oni combo. Well, Absolute Washington decides, you know what?
By Absolute.
I mean, that's ring.
Able
the
to
ring
break it up.
I mean, Absolute is a great ring general, but he's paying for it because the Bell brothers are now focusing on him. That's, I think, a mistake. You don't want to give Forrest a chance to recover, which is what you're doing. Ginger, and the ref, of course, again being, trying to get Absolute out of the ring. And he's picked. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The fort. Oh! He was going to get that, the deduct this locked in on Ginger Boy. But Gingy was able to get out in the nick of time and kicks him in the face in the corner. Forrest protecting his face while Gingy tries to rain down those elbows. And Gingy's like, I'm having none of this! So let's face it, Ginger Boy is a very angry man. He's the kind of man you could be on his birthday presenting him with a birthday cake and he'd be angry about it. Why is it on fire? The King's going crazy. Flyboy attacking TJ. Forrest dealing with him and now whipping Ginger Boy. Oh, I thought he was whipping him in the corner. No,
into his boot.
Whipping him into his boot. And going for the pin. The ref took a lot of time to get into position for that. But with the Kings all kind of discombobulated, he almost had Gingy there.
Oh, he's locking in? Nope.
Gingy, again, his MMA background coming into play, getting out of that. He's fighting, but he's fighting. This quarter Gingy shouldn't be in. The units are right there. All he's going to take is one good hot tag, and he's got to face someone new.
Bringing him into the center of the ring.
I mean, that's good ring awareness by the Mad Lad of London.
Going for the pin.
There he goes. But broken up by Washington. And Washington outside of the ring before the boys can get him. Shoulder tackle by Forrest, and the ref is telling Strongman out of the ring. Oh no. And here he comes! The Mint! Now here's one thing I've always wondered. Why? Oh, he's busted. No, not the Bladukin. You've busted Ginger Boy open. You've activated his powers, TJ. I always wanted to ask TJ, I mean, he's never submitted specific names for his moves. But one of them should be the Mint condition. Don't you agree?
Oh, that's solid, yeah.
I think I might just end up naming one of his moves the Mint condition until he tells me otherwise. Because, I'm a general manager. I can get away with that kind of thing. But unfortunately, right now,
Ginger Boy might be ready for the tag.
Yeah, wrong corner, and he now faces not Ginger Boy, but Flyboy, and he gives Flyboy a jawbreaker as a welcoming gift. Oh, and that big punch!
Lined up, double axe handle.
Again, the boxing background of TJ Gable. Yeah, he's not a man you want to just walk around with. You got to deal with him. I understand Flyboy's desire. Get him over to the corner where Ginger Boy and Strongman can help you. But sometimes you just got to take care of business. That's better. Whip him into the corner, knee to the face, and running bulldog. That favorite combo of Flyboy. Whipping him into a neutral corner, and knees to the back. Kicks. This is classic Flyboy. And going for the pin. 1, 2, kick out at 2. Going for a drop kick. Gable sensed it coming. Oh, punch to the face. And down he goes. Going for a pin. 1, 2, break out by Strongman. Standing Bulldog onto Washington while the Mint picks up Flyboy, whipping him into the blue corner. And the tag. Uh-oh. And again, the surprising agility of the Fortress and the punching power of the Mint. Strongman begging for a pin, for a tag, but Flyboy's got big problems now. Meanwhile, Absolute Washington unconscious outside the ring, just coming to. Going for that kick. If I'm Flyboy, I want to get back in the ring as soon as possible. But apparently, Bell has other ideas, which lead him to getting slammed down by the Fortress. Oh, and the Fortress is busted open. Up to a 7 count. Somebody's got to get back in the ring. There he goes. Oh, he is going upstairs. Where are we going to see it? No, not if Absolute Washington has anything to say about it. Hot tag to Strongman. Pretty sure the Flyboy was getting ready for the Australia, and he went no. Oh, meanwhile, Strongman wrenching on the leg of Wade. Oh no, is he going to do this again?
I think he is.
That's just a flex. Proving he can do it.
Military press action.
I mean, yeah, fair. And a Hurricanrana takedown. Wade trying to crawl to his corner to get the tag. Knee to the face. The power of the Fortress! With that suplex and... Oh no, just boom! All that muscle mass hitting you all at once. Dear God.
That's a lot of beef.
Oh! Knee to the... Not quite throat, because Forrest would never do that, but more like the upper pec area, I would say. Just tossing
him into the corner.
And now he's just giving him a camel clutch. That's a move Strongman knows well and knows how to get out of. Oh! Beautifully done.
Maintaining wrist control.
The Densha... I thought... Nah, it wasn't quite the Densha, but it...
Oh, he's bending back.
Wrenching those legs.
Tree trunks of legs.
Is that going to make Forrest submit? Is this what's going to happen? Forrest is going, no, I don't think so. Forrest was able to find Strongman's ankles and give a good old-fashioned yank.
Tag is made. Flyboy in.
And up they go.
Entering the ring with style.
The Brothers Bell strike again. Oh, bringing Forrest down to his level. And a trio of kicks. Oh! Wrenching the neck. Up he goes. Is this going to be it? Yes, it is! Ladies and gentlemen, La Estrella hits.
DJ able to get in, break up the pin attempt.
Yeah, and leaving Flyboy stunned for a moment. Is he going to do it again? Yeah, he is! Is that it? Is that... No, TJ again able to break up the pin, but being thrown around by the Bell Brothers for his trouble. It's chaos in the ring. Finally, ref is able to direct traffic and get it cleared. And Flyboy is not in a good position right now. And I think Forrest is very calmly explaining to him every way where he went wrong tonight. In a very calm and measured voice. Very politely.
Honestly, I think both men are just catching their breath right now. This has been one long heck of a match.
It has now. Here we go. To duck this, locked in. Flyboy able to break the hold. Oh, Ginger Boy not able to resist the cheap shot. And again, the Bell Brothers going for the teamwork. Oh no, coast to coast while Flyboy holds him in position. And now Flyboy is getting into it with TJ. Oh no, not again. All right, third time's a charm, I guess.
Still, after this long, be able to hoist the big man up like this.
I mean, the conditioning of Strongman Bell, but he's now down on the mat facing, I'd say at this point, fairly irritated Fortress. Going for the pin. But again, Ginger Boy was slightly distracting the ref. And maybe that was just enough.
Kick out at 2. Oh, that might just do it.
That might be it.
Absolutely. Nope.
Washington was
not able to intercept Flyboy in time.
Yeah, just a little too slow. And Flyboy back in the ring to deal with absolute Washington while Forrest is giving Strongman a chiropractic adjustment. Ref, you got to get control of this. It's chaos in the ring.
Wrenching at that neck.
And up. Holding him down. Beautiful suspended suplex. And all Strongman can think to do is to break the momentum. And then giving him that Phoenix Rush. Gable begging for the pin. And then, actually, I'm sorry, I was wrong. That was the Phoenix Rush. The other was just a little bit of a setup. But now, Strongman's feeling it. You can see him getting charged up. Oh, just dropping the Fortress. Not many men can just do that. And up, kick to the face. But then just scooping him up and dropping him. Up, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is again. Here he is. Yep. The Oni.
Military press. Yep.
Combo.
The Oni combo.
Kick out at 2. Flyboy was cutting off Washington, but that didn't matter. Forrest was able to get out all by himself. But Forrest desperately needs a tag. He's been in there a long time while the Kings have been able to rotate in and out. And unfortunately, he finds himself in the bad corner, bad part of town, and that running bulldog.
That running bulldog, however, has put Forrest the Fortress in his own territory.
Yeah. Oh, what's going to happen now? All right, Forrest setting up. What's Flyboy planning? Whatever it is, Gable trying to get in the ring. I guess hoping to save his friend. But again, never count out the power of the Fortress. Deduct this, locked in. And Flyboy taps. Actually, I think Flyboy
And your winners, the Absolute Unit.
Oh, Pete, that was a hell of a match.
That it was.
And I think the units can be proud of their performance. Nothing against Three Kings. They put on a great showing of trios excellence, but just not enough to overcome the units. And as they celebrate, they did a great job. But let's face it, the MVP of that matchup was absolutely Forrest, the Fortress Wade.
Absolutely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, last week, we saw something shocking that sent reverberations throughout Warzone. When in a trios match, Wilson turned on VIP. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and let's hear from the man himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Wilson.
I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk in a shattered visage lies, whose frowned and wrinkled lips and sneer cold command tell that its sculptor will those passions red, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless things. The hand that mocked them and the heart that fed, and on the pedestal the words appeared. My name is Osmandius, King of Kings. Look at my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains, round the decay of colossal wreck, boundless and bare. The lone and level sands stretch far away." This is how Ausir Taran will be remembered. Not as a great ruler who held the sun in his hands, the chosen of Ra, but as an arrogant fool whose ambitions turned his most loyal subjects against him. I gave you everything, Pharaoh. And what did I get in return? An endless cycle of embarrassment, being forced to do the same thing over and over and over again, despite wanting more. Well, that's over now. You are dead to me, and I am unchained. I can do whatever I want now, and my first act as a free man will be this. Jerry Aldini, I want the MNW Multiversal Championship! So throw every single man, woman, and beast you can against me. I'm going to victimize so many people on your roster that you'll have no choice but to surrender and give me what I want. So, Warzone, who will it be? Who will help me ascend to the godhood? Who will be next in the path of the victimizer? I can't wait.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Strong words from Wilson and a declaration that he wants to be the next in line for the Multiverse Heavyweight Championship after Big Papa Plutonium. Well, funny you should mention that. We will be later tonight having an announcement about what we are going to do to figure out who will be facing off for that belt after Big Papa Plutonium. But first, a couple of things we have to get out of the way. Tweeting out on social media. Constantinople tweeting, Project Constant Nightmare accepts the challenge of Istanbul. Respect given will be reciprocated. We request of management that it be a hardcore match. Let neither of us hold anything back. I will take that under advisement. Assuming I still can have the authority to make the booking, we will see. And also tweeting out on social media, Dr. Grimm stating, the Murder Cave sides with neither the Union nor the administration officially. Dr. Galavan's challenge for the device was accepted due to a gentleman's challenge between men of science. I do not hold this requirement for the rest of you. Make a move on the device, and you will get to meet my associate, Gresh. Pete, what's a Gresh?
Oh, don't even want to know, really.
I feel... You know what? There is... you know what? We're going to go to ringside. There is somebody who wants to actually say a few words to the multiverse. And he is the VI Pharaoh, Ausir Taran. Silence, lowborns! I require your silence! Everyone throwing accusation after accusation at VIP, saying we are falling apart. That is... this nonsense. VIP is fine. VIP is strong. Even if we have some flotsam. So go on, Wilson. Go forge whatever path you think you can, and I will wait when you come back on bended knee, asking to be let back in like the dog you are. But that this very night, in fact, I know that the match after I am done speaking, Suplex Sam will rip the belt off of your brother, Prince. No, everything is fine. VIP is not falling apart. Yes, I told the doctor of Albanomics I want to see him shape up and get rid of the jorts and act like a man again. Everything is fine. There's not the... just because everyone acts like things have been falling apart since you. This is all your fault. I should have known you did this to us. You did this to me. It was all going just fine. And then you had to get involved. Well, so be it. If you want to try and tear down VIP, I will face you. I will find you, and I will destroy you so that you never, ever threaten VIP again.
I'm usually unhinged. Ausir tonight.
I mean, yeah, but sure, VIP is fine. Yeah, Ausir, we're with you there, buddy. VIP is fine.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, no, we buy it. It's good. It's good. So, ladies and gentlemen, as he said, there is a lot of action to come. We are getting ready for our run of title matches. But before that, it's as we have to do. It's time for a quick commercial break. After this, we will have the Warpgate Hardcore Championship match. Stay tuned.
Don't you just hate it when you're in a great one-on-one match, going up for a fly-high-in moonsault, when you totally miss and eat more turnbuckle than a ravenous George the Animal Steel? Then you, my friend, might need to get your eyes checked. Hi, I'm former professional wrestler Dr. See It Coming, and we here at Eye to Eye Optometrists specialize in glasses, contact lenses, and overall eye health for the wrestling impaired. Our flexible, one-of-a-kind contact lenses are guaranteed to fit all sizes and be a comfort fit even as you get your eyes poked out by your mortal enemy. We even have some eyewitnesses to testify how great these eyes are. Mr. Simon the Psycho, what do you think of your new contact lenses? Oh, God! Oh, there goes our new intern. Ha ha! Come on down and book an appointment with Dr. Seared Coming, and you and I will see eye to eye.
Sup, dudes? Do you want to look as gnarly as one of your favorite wrestlers on show who's holding one of the world titles from MNW? Well, you totally can, without even leaving your couch at Totally Tyler's Titles. For only $39.99, you too can own a complete replica of one of MNW's famous titles, like the MNW World Heavyweight Championship, the Tag Team, the Nexus Titan, the Interdimensional Championship, dude. So you can show up to your parents and show how gnarly you are, or you could secretly try and claim that you're formerly the title champion holder by holding a knockoff title. So come on down to Totally Tyler's Titles, where you can be a title holder today.
No official MNW wrestlers are allowed to hold the titles if they're a replica, unless you want to talk to Jim in the back.
What are you, blind, Rev? He clearly went for a roll-up reverse coil. This just can't be happening. This is some bull!
Is this you? Well, even if it isn't, I'm sure many of you have met these kinds of people, just marking up the walls of your favorite shows. Don't worry, we have the solution. With the Mark Manager. Yes, with the Mark Manager, we clean up the big marks, small marks, marks you didn't realize that were there, and marks that have always been there. We've even updated our product to help you clean off the toughest of marks.
Of course he was gonna lose the championship. If you'll look at my 42-page blog from last week, we can clearly see that the producers were going to have him. Hey, what are you doing? Ah!
So sign up and get your Mark Manager today. And remember, with a little bit of, any mark is manageable.
Fuck, it went up my nose! Come one, come all! The Observer Spectacular Wax Museum would like to welcome you and your family for our lovely establishment. Only $1 per person! Wow! Come and see the wax figurines of your favorite animals, historical figures, wrestlers, food, and even things not of this world. All of the Observer Spectacular Wax Museum displays are totally made of wax and are not made of unwilling subjects. So come on down and see the spectacular sights for yourself.
Note that all the wax figurines are all wax, nothing but wax, but they totally are not people we've kidnapped to try to leech money off of them and made them back to life. They're just made of wax.
Hey baby, it's me, Suplex Sam, and I'm here to tell you about my brand new experience, baby. On the Suplex Express, we're serving up hot dishes and hot meals for all your homies. It's time for Suplex Sam, the soup made for me, baby. Sam I am. Tired of your lunches being soupless? Don't worry, baby. Suplex Sam's got you covered. We got all the flavors. Wonton Wilson's, the beef drippings, the Doctor of Alphagetti, and the VI Pheromone. And of course, the signature soup, the Plex. So you can have your Suplex any day, anytime with yours truly, baby. So come on down to the Suplex Express and get yourself a can of Suplex Sam.
Are your heebies a jeebies? Are your ants in your pants? Do you get the butterflies in your stomach when you have to go up against a 400-pound, muscle-bound murder man who's trying to beat you in the ring? Don't worry.
We have the solution for you. From the makers of the laxative product Let It Go comes the anti-anxiety medication Fuck It All. That's right, with a big old scoop of Fuck It All, you too can get yourself relaxed before any situation. Handpicked and freshly squeezed from the teats of Tibetan relaxation monks. It comes with absolutely no long-term side effects. No, not at all. Yes, the anti-anxiety can make you stand up and say, Fuck it all.
Warning, this product may contain extreme doses of caffeine and methamphetamine. If consumed by more than one human, those 2 humans may or may not cause to duel or explode, and this product is very free.
High Flyer Airlines is the leading air carrier for all professional wrestling. We customized our planes to fit the biggest of egos. With fine velvet and leather seats, a custom-made full banquet by Chef Manatee, and a working vocal booth, so you can make your promos while you're on the go.
Wait a minute, this isn't a bathroom!
High Flyer Airlines. We're leading the air in wrestling care.
I'm stuck inside the booth! Introducing Mizuki and Nero action figure dolls with intense hand-holding couple action, maximum lewdness. Watch the world's deadliest power couple have intense action conversations.
Honey, did you take out the dog today? I ate the dog! Very good.
Oh yeah! Push the buttons on the back of both action dolls to get both of them to be the parents of hers. The new Mizuki and Nero action figure dolls.
Each sold separately, but then put together as a couple.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And it is, oh boy, Pete. Taking some deep breaths, but a crazy day.
It really has.
I'm, okay. No, I'm good.
We're not even halfway done.
But before we get, there is so many things going on. Before we get anywhere, there's, as I said, a lot of people, a lot of thoughts, a lot's been going on. The administration has just, they've been running rampant. And one of the biggest issues that we have had, I think everyone can agree, is rather than having people earn shots, they've just sort of been making declarations of who gets shots. They just retroactively said a match that Big Papa Plutonium had made him the #1 contender for the Multiverse Heavyweight Championship, and they finagled it that the Outlaws deserve a title shot against the All-Laws for reasons. And so in that vein, well, first off, let's hear this from the #1 contenders for the Unified Tag Team Champions, and might I add, Special Assistant to Human Resources, Theron Eldraze.
Apex. Oh, lads, I hope you have both grabbed a monitor in the back and you're paying very close attention to what it is I am about to say. I'm going to start first with the O-Lads. You guys want to know why we joined the Authority? It's because we were tired of being handicapped, handcuffed, held down by the people that make the rules, such as Jerry Aldini. Now we make the rules. Now we have a fair shake at the tag team titles that should have been ours that you intervened in. And we're making the rules for our tag team title match. Best you believe that, and we are taking the tag belts off of you, and they are coming back to where they should have been in the first place. Now, Apex. I get it. You're angry. You think we started something we didn't intend to finish, and we just left you high and dry with no resolution. Way back when we were helping our boy Gem out. You want a shot? You're on deck after we beat the All-Laws for the titles. You want a shot at the belts? You got it. Not a problem. Bring it down to the ring, Zeph. You and Blight. We'll do this man-on-man, 2-on-2 tag style. We'll set the rules. You come to play. And I don't care if you've got Mizuki watching a monitor in the back. I don't care if you've got the Minotaurs watching a monitor in the back. Because you best believe the Outlaws are going to have people watching our back too. So that in mind, I hope you boys came to play, all 4 of you, because now we all playing for blood. That's our game, and it's under our rules.
And in response to that, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from one half of the unified tag team champions, ladies and gentlemen, Sasquatch Wing.
So it comes to this, Outlaws administration. This one should have known Outlaws would grunt and squeal about how All Odds got into tag team championship match at Future Shock and win tag titles. Did Eldrazi and Xero forget what they do to make Sasquatch Wing wish the All Odds into that match? Or did they prefer to have Samson pour a tall, cool glass of crushed gold statue down their throats? You heard the roar at Future Shock. Mess with one of All Odds, mess with all of All Odds. That is as much All Odds rule as Play for Blood is Outlaws. But if rule breakers want to be rule makers, then go ahead. No matter what Outlaws' rules are, one thing remains. Outlaws do not deserve titles. No one does. Titles are earned, not deserved. And when Outlaws face All Odds in that title match, all will see why the All Odds earned these titles. As for administration, human resources, my hairy keister. So that thing on Anon's face is not a mask. It's his other face! Trying to strip Zappo Duo of his championship because he is robot? What next? Take away All Odds titles because Sasquatch Wing is Sasquatch? Wait, that might have been the first thing to happen. Either way, this is not okay. This one will stand against administration if they are dead set on putting the H back in HR. This is Multiverse Nexus Wrestling, and this one will fight for a Multiverse Nexus Wrestling for all!
So, as we said, that is a heated issue going on between the All Odds and the Outlaws, which we are going to see come to a head. Right now, the plans are that match is going to happen, well, next week, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Next week, you're going to get to see the All Odds versus the Outlaws for the Unified Tag Team Championship. But that, alas, is next week. For now, let's head down to the ringside for some Warpgate Hardcore Championship action.
The following is a hardcore match and is for the Warpgate Championship. Introducing first, Suplex Sam.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, representing VIP, looking to bring some gold back for his Pharaoh. It's Suplex Sam. Always with that gold headpiece, you know, that he started wearing once he joined VIP. Guess showing how he is above it all now. Wonder how he feels. Well, you know what? I don't think he cares about what happened to his former teammates in Shoot Nation tonight. I think he's here, and he has been with a stipulation, and he's maintaining it, that he will be able to beat Dagarik without the use of weapons, just like he beat all of the other contenders to earn this shot against the Dwarven Prince.
And introducing their opponent, they are the Warpgate Champion, the Dagarik.
So Dagarik has taken on so many opponents. He has faced McMorgan to win that belt and in a rematch. He has faced Laid High Rolled. He has faced TJ the Mint Gable. He has faced so much and come so far that now he faces Suplex Sam of VIP. Will the Daggers winning streak continue? And of course, Dagarik didn't make any claim about not using weapons, and you know the Dwarven Prince. He likes it brutal. And here we go. And now the traditional ceremony of the belt. Being handled by our referee Pete. It's always interesting, Pete. You know, you have the same first name as the ref.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, unlike the ref, though, you're not functionally immortal.
Damn it.
Or are you?
I haven't really tried to find out yet.
You know, that's not something you really want to test. Meanwhile, here's the dagger with the belt, soaking in the adulation of the crowd. He has been one of our most popular Warpgate hardcore champions. Everyone knows how this dwarf suffered under the yoke of the administration. Or not the administration, the Inquisition, although sometimes they feel the same. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's on. And immediately Sam comes out swinging. Sam, even though he hasn't used weapons, he has definitely used brutality. Also, apparently tweeting on social media, the Sandman tweeting, "Well, the VI Pharaoh has become the Mad Pharaoh. Mad to the point of refusing to see his Nile River is dried up. His kingdom is falling around him. And because he let in the Judas known as Wilson." Possibly, although a win here by Sam would probably go a long way to making him feel better.
I feel like there's a denial joke in there.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. And down goes Sam at the hands of the dagger. And just out of... Oh, now we're outside.
Blow from the dagger.
Yep. And now the fun begins, because Dagarik is under no restriction on using weapons. That's just a boast that Sam's saying he can beat him without weapons.
Well, just for clarification for the audience now, to my understanding, that is the only person putting this restriction on themselves. This isn't necessarily part of the match type.
Nope.
This is just something that just a boast that Sam has made.
It's a bragging right. So yeah, if Sam uses a weapon, the ref will not disqualify him. It is a hardcore match. No countouts, weapons are legal. Sam's just saying he's good enough to beat Dagarik without the use of weapons. And scissors takedown by Dagarik. Sam outside. Dagarik still trying to pull something out from under the ring. What did he get? Oh! A baseball bat. Just a good old-fashioned, tale as old as time. Pete, I was about to ask if you were ever in any hardcore matches, and I remembered I'm the only one here that's actually wrestled.
That is correct.
You wouldn't understand what it feels like to take a baseball bat to the head. Let me tell you, you remember it.
Well, that's unrelated, but sure.
Okay. And back in the ring again. Sam is going to win this the hard way, I guess, is one way to look at it. That's been his point. So this could, who knows where this is going to go. I'll tell you this much. Before this is over, what you will see, brutality.
No question about that in this hardcore match for the Warpgate Hardcore Championship.
And up, arm drag takedown by the dagger. Looks like Sam didn't land so great, and now he is getting just kicked by those powerful dwarven legs. You know what, when I think about this, there's, one thing Dagarik is probably remembering is when Suplex Sam joined MNW, he was a bounty hunter for the Inquisition. Dagarik was imprisoned for months by the Inquisition. I'm sure that fuels some lingering resentment and maybe some satisfaction in getting to beat the hell out of Sam. At least that's what I would be thinking if I were in his position. Oh, going for more toys. And it's a table.
It is not unheard of to think that Sam might be in that book of grudges.
That's a good point. And speaking of tables, let's not forget the last hardcore Warpgate hardcore match was a hardcore tables match, which is still under investigation technically for what happened when those tables moved by themselves, although we definitely have a prime suspect now.
Oh, Dagarik now going for the ladder.
I mean, you get a ladder and a table involved, and what you have a chance for is permanent disability. Dagarik just sort of, okay, what's he planning?
Positioning that ladder.
Sam's like, you know what, the best thing I could do right now? Take the table out of the equation. Oh, and Dagarik misses. He miscalculated.
Dagarik able, though, to leap over the table, perhaps not what he had in mind.
Yeah, I mean, impressive feat of strength by the Dwarven Prince, but now he's got the table again. Setting up the table. This is just that. I don't like... Off of the turnbuckle. It's not looking good for Sam right now. Looks like he may be going back to the VIP compound empty-handed to I'm sure, a very disappointed Ausir Taran. And down. I wonder how he feels about Wilson. Sam and Wilson, they weren't the closest in VIP. That was definitely Wilson and the Beef, but still, they teamed quite often. Scissors takedown. Dagarik going over into that table, repositioning it. Oh, this isn't good. It's in much better range for whatever he's planning with that ladder. Fireman carry takeover. And we lost our feed for a second, but we're back. After everything that's else happened today, I'm just like, no, please, no. Like to point out, since this is a no DQ match, that the timekeeper is not in his position right now, which I don't blame him. It's probably safer that way. And rolling. Sam coming up. Dagarik throwing him back in the ring. And I would have thought he would try to get him over onto that table, but nope. Dagarik setting up something. Oh well, hit this ladder, so that did some damage. Setting him up. Well, I think he was setting up, and Sam went, nope, don't think so.
Headbutt.
Now bringing him. Okay, I think we're going to see this table come into play now. Oh, Sam was able to, I guess, bump it and move it out of position. Don't know if that helps or not. Oh, jawbreaker. And oh, he hit the edge of the table.
Able to get Sam off the side of the table.
And again, the turnbuckle. But the table didn't break. So it means it still can in play. Oh, and Dagarik is not. Dagarik is absolutely determined to use that table. And kicks from, and here we go. Oh, almost as a reverse bulldog, I would say. And bringing him back over, looking to set him up again. Can he do it this time? Well, oh, yeah, he's got, Sam is stunned. Here we go. Oh, the ref knocked the ladder out of position. Oh, Dagarik, don't touch the ref.
Dagarik getting frustrated with the ref.
I mean, the ref knocked that ladder out of position. Dagarik is so angry. He's Dagarik knocks out the ref. I understand, Dagarik, you're frustrated, and this is a no DQ match. But, dude, Peter, to clarify, Peter is an MNW official. You need him to count the victory. Oh, Sam's head bouncing off that ladder. The ref recovering from that attack. And, and he hits him again.
That is, to the point, probably one of Dagarik's biggest flaws is that temper of his.
Yeah. Once he gets a mat on, reason will no longer play into it. And he worked so hard to get Sam into that position, and then the ref messed it up by bumping the ladder.
Well, we'll have to see if Sam can take advantage of this.
I mean, the ref's been out twice. I mean, not that that's a problem for this referee. I mean, he's got regenerative abilities. That's one of the reasons we hired him. Oh!
Bringing neck breaker.
From the apron to the floor.
Yep.
And bringing him around. Trying to set him up on that table again.
Well, Dagarik has in place this time.
Yeah, I mean, Dagarik's got this spot in mind. He is bound and determined to pull it off.
Well, he might be trying to do it from the corner, though. No?
I was thinking about it.
He's determined to try and use that ladder, I think.
There he goes. And I did it!
Oh, my gosh.
I don't... That's got to be it. That's got to be it. And as the specially Lowe's constructed tables that evaporate when broken fades away, in comes the... Sam's got to be out. Well, he's stirring. But Dagarik... Oh, right!
Well, he's conscious, but is he there? Is he...
I mean, at this point, I doubt it. And slammed again. Like we said, brutality. That's what you can expect in a MNW hardcore match. Oh, Sam rallying. Well, okay, one punch. Maybe not a rally. Oh, curtain stomp down. And now finally going for a pin. 2. Kick out at 2. And, headbutt ya. Now, Dagarik going up to the top rope. And no one home.
Sam looking to take advantage, going for the roll. Roll assisted slam.
1, 2. Kick out at 2. I mean, slamming Dagarik into that ladder and then bridging him. I mean, the ladder was just in the way. I mean, that wasn't Sam. I would say technically that wasn't Sam using a weapon. And the ref kicks the ladder out of the ring. I guess he's done with that. And out goes Sam outside the ring again. What is Dagarik going to do this time? Well, just picking him up. I figured he was going to go for a weapon, but it shows what I know. And back and forth, trading blows. Up comes Dagarik again and blocks Sam's punch. And a lariat down. Bringing him around. What's Dagarik planning this time? Just head off. Oh, I think Sam got busted open that time. Well, I mean, it's not a hardcore match unless at least one of them's bleeding.
That gold chain helmet cannot be offering too much protection at the moment.
Nah, in fact, that might be how he got cut open.
Powerful slam by the Dwarven Prince. Sending it back into the ring.
And now he's begging him to stand up for whatever it is he's got planned. Oh!
Sam was able to get out of the way in time.
That was an impressive kick. Would have been great if it had connected, but Sam was able to get out of the way, and Dagarik just ate the mat. And now in a pinning predicament. 1, 2. Oh!
Sam able to kick out just in the nick of time.
Yeah, Dagarik nearly
destroyed
Sam's dreams of a championship gold. Now he's just setting him up top. This isn't looking good. Dagarik is not sure where he is at the moment. And Sam, oh no, Suplex Sam is about to... Yes, suplex him from the top rope. That was a top rope Samplex if I ever saw one.
Absolutely going for the pin. Kick out at 2.
Oh, elbow to the gut. And round the world DDT, or is here we go. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. I don't believe it.
Neither man willing to stay down.
I mean, Sam has been put through so much in this match by Dagarik, and he is just not going down. And now Sam picking him up.
Up from Brett's rope. Samplex from Brett's rope.
Beautiful Samplex from Brett's rope. Say what you will about how he acts or how VIP acts. He is a skilled in-ring performer.
Bouncing him off the turnbuckle, bringing him in for something.
Into the corner he goes. What's he planning? Well, and oh, I think he's going to do it again. I think he liked it so much the first time. Oh, Dagarik, knowing what his predicament, he denies him. And once again, we're outside.
Come to in the nick of time.
Ladies and gentlemen, unlike a showcase match, there's no count out, but the pinfall has to happen in the ring. And Sam knows that. Oh, I think he's set up for it. He's got him, and all right, ladies and gentlemen, Samplex. Oh my God, he did it!
Your winner and new Warp Gate champion, Suplex Sam.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the reign of the Dwarven Prince has ended, and the Suplex Sam winning his first singles title. He has been a tag champion before, but he has never held singles gold. And now perhaps his Pharaoh is feeling a little bit better because gold has returned to VIP.
There's definitely got to be a silver lining in what has been a very dark cloud for the VIP.
I would agree. So with that, great matchup, and tweeting out on, social media is blowing up after that matchup. First off, we have McMorgan. Credit where credit is due. You climbed up to the fight for the belt and beat the champ. You earned my mistake, but lose the gold, lad. I need some clarifications on that. McMorgan, of course, will be actually in our next match, facing off for the Nexus Titan Championship. But before that, a member of the administration, head of legal, Gorwheel, as a member of the administration and former teammate in Nigma, congrats, Sam. You deserve this win. Good work, old friend. All right. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, McMorgan facing off against Cain for the Nexus Titan Championship next. Ladies, gentlemen, let's hear from McMorgan.
Yeah, friend. Looks like we got on it.
So it comes to this, outlaws.
Sorry. That was not the right one. Just a moment, folks. We're experiencing some technical difficulties. You'll all just hang on for a second. I can sure we can work this all out. There we go. All right, I think I got it situated. Let's now hear from McMorgan.
So, tonight I finally got my hands on the Nexus Titan Championship match. And who am I against? Why, it's the apprentice of the Xero, the current champion, Cain. Oh, you got your moves all right. 4,000, 5,000, 8,602 moves. Some sort of flabbergasted number. But the only move you're going to be needing is to move out of me way, boyo. For I am McMorgan, the man who's going to become the next Nexus Titan Champion. To I drink to a glorious battle, and I prepare you for the Scottish Mile, laddie. I'm a grey bloody devil, and you're gonna be having an unhappy bloody end. No, Cain, let's do it!
And let's also hear from the current Nexus Titan Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, it's gotta be Cain.
Is this gonna be okay, right? These things aren't gonna fall down suddenly.
I assure you, not once in my countless years has my concentration slipped. Ask what you may.
Hey boss, there's an issue.
Cain, you haven't forgotten proper decorum already, have you?
Hey, you knew what you were getting when you took me in, but that's not important right now. You might want to cut your meditation short. Max has been running around with a bullhorn trying to call out the administration.
You speak of that man's cacophony could phase...
Attention everybody! This is Maximilian Thunderthighs, not approving of the administration. I am going to tell you everything wrong about the administration in a 32-point program.
You saw nothing.
Gotcha.
Okay. Mr. Cain, are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Do you need anything?
Why, thank you, Andre. I'll have the veal colada.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's head down to the ring for Nexus Titan action.
The following match is a Nexus Titan match and is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, it's gotta be Cain!
And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, your Nexus Titan champion. This is unusual having the champion come out first. We don't usually do this. So here he is. This man has walked a long and hard road. He has been brainwashed by Dr. Grimm, abandoned when his usefulness was done. He fought on Friday Night Flashbang before returning home to the Warzone and has struggled. His one goal to eventually get his hands on the man who did him wrong. But in the meantime, falling under the tutelage of our Sith Lord Exar Kun, Cain has risen and captured the second most prestigious belt Warzone has to offer, the Nexus Titan Championship. And now he stands here in his first title defense. And we were going to have a tournament, but Cain said that he didn't want to wait that long. He asked us to do a 4-way match last week. We granted his request, and McMorgan won that match. As we're going to see here in a moment, McMorgan... Wait, what's going on? Oh my God! McMorgan is being attacked backstage by Earl King Wes! The heck? No! Wait a minute, what's going on in ring? Why are the lights out? And it's the Storyteller. Rival of Exar Kun. They have been going back and forth for months. Had a recent matchup where I thought everything was solved, but here he's coming out now messing with Exar's apprentice, Cain.
You're no strangers to each other. Cain and Storyteller, both former members of the Order, with one Dr. Grimm.
That's right. When Grimm had Cain under mind control, brainwashed, the Storyteller was part of that group. But, I mean, this isn't his match. He doesn't have a shot at the Nexus Titan. Why is he here? Well, apparently to attack Cain. Exar Kun just looking... Wait a minute. What's going on now? And now McMorgan's at... What the hell? So for those of you wondering
I guess the match is now underway.
I guess so. So for you wondering, McMorgan, when he had his match with Dagarik, some of the tables mysteriously moved by themselves. The lead suspect is Earl King Wes, who you saw attacking McMorgan backstage. It's insane. So here we go.
Well, now the question is going to be is what impact is this this disturbance going to have on both wrestlers?
They've both been attacked, so level play. I don't know. What is it going to have? Insanity. That's what the effect is going to have. So I don't know what's going on, why the Storyteller got involved, you know what? Let's focus on the match, Pete. At this point, that's the best we can do. Focus on the
really
match.
is.
Cain picking up and getting good dropping of Morgan on the, and now just going after him. I'm getting myself collected. I swear it's going to be fine. Somebody find me Seth Jackson after the show, by the way.
Noted.
Because there's no way McMorgan getting down to that ring so fast after everything was not shenanigans. Kick to the back. All right, Cain is determined, if nothing else, to keep his hard-won Nexus Titan Championship. He would love to be able to go into Multivania as the champion. However, so would McMorgan, who this is his first title shot since losing that tables match to the Dagger, the man who originally took away his Warpgate Hardcore Championship. And side Russian leg sweep on Cain. And now stalking the apprentice Sith. Oh, jawbreaker. And a good flip. Morgan is in trouble. Cain in charge. And now both men outside. Oh, and this is not a good spot for either man. They got to get it back in the ring. This McMorgan's got to remember, Cain has champion's advantage. A count out and he retains the belt. Makes you wonder, recently McMorgan made some commentary about his family having a long history of fighting the Fae. Maybe that offended Earl King West. Back elbow from Cain to get out of that arm lock. Power bomb. Now Cain just raining blows down on the Celt. 2. Kick out at 2. Cain, of course, the master of 8,602 moves. Stalking McMorgan.
As you pointed out earlier, Jerry, this is Cain's first title defense.
It is his first title defense, and he hits McMorgan with the good old-fashioned 309. That's his 309th move. And, flipping him over. I'll say this, Cain, despite everything, I mean, both men were beat up before the match. Cain seems to be in charge, standing bulldog. McMorgan,
not seeing any repercussions from that altercation earlier.
I mean, we've seen McMorgan take many brutal beatings, more brutal than that, and come back swinging. So, you know, that may be joke's on you trying to slow down McMorgan with a beatdown. And Cain used to be a very unfocused wrestler. That was his problem. But the training of Exar Kun has turned him into someone with laser focus and leading him to not just a winning streak, but a championship reign. McMorgan.
And he is looking to make that an actual reign tonight.
That's true. You know, legitimize that championship if he can. Again, rating body blows on the Scotsman. And that powerful punch from McMorgan. Now he's just pulling back on Cain's head. Cain breaking loose. And flipping him over again. Picking him up. What is Cain planning? Kano! He hit the Kano! 1, 2, 3. Cain retains.
Your winner and still bit Nexus Titan Champion, Cain.
And there you go. Cain retains despite everything that happened. He has managed to get through to his first title defense. Ladies and gentlemen, that means Cain will be going into Multivania as the Nexus Titan Champion. But still, you've got to know that you've got Earl King West in the background for McMorgan, and clearly the storyteller isn't done with the Sith. Just madness.
Well, and apparently not necessarily done with Cain either.
Well, I'm sorry. Should have clarified. I was counting Cain in with. He is a Sith apprentice. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, McMorgan has just managed to get back to the backstage area, and he has already tweeted out, "You've made an enemy, you little spriteling." So yeah, I expect to see more going on. I think we have definitely clarified who moved the tables. It was Earl King West, folks. I think we can clearly say that now. And that means McMorgan is got a target. And ladies and gentlemen, got to know what happens when McMorgan gets a target. But folks, we still have action to go. Our next match, not a title match, but there's still a prize at the end. For almost a year, Semjax has held the mega money in the big bank briefcase. That briefcase that he could cash in at any time to go after Zaco Duo's Multiverse Heavyweight Championship. He has teased it many times, but has never gone for it. Megablitz X has challenged him, saying if you're not going to use it, give it up. So after going back and forth, Megablitz earned the opportunity to take that case away if he can win the upcoming match. Ladies and gentlemen, so much going on. Let's hear from the current holder of the case. Ladies and gentlemen, the leader of the Conquest Bloodline, Semjax.
Forfeit the game before somebody takes you out of the flame and puts your name to shame. It's written on your face. You can't keep up with this race. My pace is too fast, and you would not last. I was taught this lesson in the starting years of my wrestling career. At first, it meant that if I talked down my opponent, they will back out from the fight and I'd be given an automatic win. It's more than talk, Mega. It's also about beating your opponent heavily, rapidly, and with no quarrel. Physically and mentally. Thrashing them with no remorse. Show them that if they just simply walked away, this is the price they would not pay. After weeks of warnings and torment, I stand across the ring before your broken body, child. I am not only going to continue the pain, but I will break your spirit. I will cut every inch of your fragile soul until it's thick as hair, and I will bare my face and bite it. And I will bite and 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 bite until there's nothing left! Leaving nothing but an empty shell of your former self. This petty game of ours ends here. I, Semjax, will show you what happens when you try to take what is rightfully mine. Trust me on that.
And now let's hear from the Henshin hero, ladies and gentlemen, the challenger, Megablitz X.
Why am I doing all of this? All this struggle and strife? For what? Because I can. Because I chose this. I'm not held back in the backstage because I wasn't officially a wrestler. I'm not restrained to act to do what I felt was right because of the ambition of a leader. I'm not making my own fate rather than being chained to a faction and their motives. I am free. Free to hunt. Free to choose. Free to stop the injustices and corruption of this roster. I will not allow Warzone to fall to darkness with a twisted champion like you. I'm not acting out of passion, or hubris, or ambition. I do it because I fight for the ones who cheer me on. I fight for the ones who would consider family and have gotten me this far. And I will fight for the one I would suffer all the sins to see them live a happy life back home. And that is something a selfish monster like you can never understand. You want to take a bite out of me? You can try. But don't cry if I'm too spicy for you as my blood runs hot as the sun! Will the Conquest have another tombstone? Or will I shatter your masquerade of dark intentions? Because unlike you, Semjax, I don't fear the end.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing else for it. Let's go down to ringside.
The following match is scheduled for one fall and is for the Mega Money in the Big Bang Briefcase. Introducing first, Megablitz X.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen, the Henshin hero, Megablitz X, who has been facing down and working to thwart the Conquest bloodline, who, let's face it, the danger of domination by the bloodline. He understands the threat it is and will not stand idly by. Here we go, and it is time for him to get elevated. Megablitz still, finding his way as he is now a solo act, but meanwhile.
And introducing their opponent, they are the current holder of the Mega Money in the Big Bang Briefcase, representing Conquest Bloodline. Semjax.
Oh, here we go. Megablitz coming out solo. Ever since he broke away from a mega club, he has been making his own way. Semjax coming out flanked by the entirety of the Conquest bloodline. Carnival, Gorm
is in attendance tonight for this match.
Yeah, and following right behind the main event mistress, Lady Boots. It is just, the numbers. Megablitz has been a great wrestler, a great hero. He has thwarted attempts by the bloodline to tilt things unfairly in their favor, culminating with this challenge to Semjax, who Semjax put up barrier after barrier after barrier. And now he comes out with the full force of the bloodline while Mega is standing by himself. I'm afraid this is going to become a travesty, Pete.
Well, and important to note that the strength that Megablitz does have coming into this is the streak that he has been on. He has been almost undefeatable as of late, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can keep that momentum to get himself the briefcase.
That's true, including winning a match, a tag match against Semjax and Lady Boots with Daverman as his partner, which he was then forced to face Daverman to lock down the right to get this match. It is one after another. Semjax put obstacles in his way, and then finally came here. And there they are, finally facing off one-on-one.
Semjax trying to just break the helmet of Megablitz with his head.
Wonder if the helmet does anything to dampen the effects of Semjax's vampiric abilities. For those of you who may be new to MNW Warzone, let's just clarify. Megablitz X is a transformative superhero, often known in Japan as a henshin hero. And Semjax is, well, no other way to put it, he is a vampire. He is a vampire leading a menagerie of creatures known as the Conquest Bloodline. And all Megablitz has going for him is his determination, the will of the people behind him, and the knowledge that he walks the righteous path. And getting out of that hold, flipping around, Semjax. Interestingly, both men have a very cruiser style to their wrestling.
This is true.
And going up, suplex off of Brett's rope. And flipping him over, Semjax looking for an early pin. 2 and a kick out at 2.
Don't even know if the ref managed to get that 2 count in there, but
yeah, it was a
corkscrew leg takedown.
Yep. And just raining blows on Semjax. One, and I don't know for a fact, I would have to check the books. I don't believe that Semjax is actually a cruiserweight, but I'd have to look. I know he has a very agile style, whereas Megablitz definitely a flyer. And now we got him, Megablitz in charge. Nope. Maybe I spoke too soon. So I'm getting a message from Tyler, the representative of the Bloodline, saying the Semjax is on the heavy end of the light heavyweight class.
I see.
So it's always good that the Bloodline has somebody backstage who can fill in details when we need them. And here comes... Oh! Drop kick on the Henshin Hero. And I think Semjax just busted Mega open under that helmet somehow.
Well, we're making repeated blows to that helmet. He finally got through, and apparently he's done some damage to Megablitz.
I'm always worried when there's bleeding involved and Semjax is in the match.
Well, fortunately for Megablitz, he is wearing that helmet, so most of the blood is probably being kept inside.
That's true, and also let's be honest. There are the various safeguards we have against supernatural activity in the ring, power dampeners. You know, we need to keep it fair here in Multiverse Nexus Wrestling. Both men outside. This is again no man's land, not quite where you want to be, but let's face it, our wrestlers right now, this is not where Megablitz wants to be. You have the Bloodline lining up, staring daggers, but the ref is keeping his eye on it. they touch Semjax, that could lead to a disqualification. Or I'm sorry, if they touch Mega. And I don't know if a champion's advantage counts in this situation or not. It's not a belt. It's fighting over a briefcase. Wait a minute, what the hell? While Semjax and Megablitz are fighting outside, Gorm just shoved a chair into the ring. And I can't believe it, but the ref didn't notice. Sometimes I wonder if he needs glasses. Oh. And into that ring apron. Up to a 6 count. And finally back in the ring. And now just taunting the crowd. People not happy. The people are definitely behind Megablitz in this matchup. Oh, I just realized he bounced him off of the chair. And meanwhile, we have somebody reporting on social media that Rapture Newroad can be seen cheering on Megablitz wearing an outfit reminiscent of Shigeru Joe. I don't even... Those are words, right, Pete?
Go Shigeru.
Ah, yeah. Thank you. I don't know. Again with those headbutts. It's already done so much damage to Megablitz X. But Megablitz is nothing if not a fighting hero. And down. Crossarm neck breaker onto Semjax, but now he's being... Lady Boots is distracting Megablitz. They're getting into it, and he doesn't see it. Semjax takes advantage with a standing bulldog. That number game coming into play. And double axe handle to the back. Elbow to the face is just brutal on the Henshin hero. Smack, smack, and a kick. There we go. 2 punches and a kick. Good. Oh, reversed by Semjax. Lifting him up. And standing bulldog. Okay, now he's got him in the corner. Oh, he went for a first punch mitch, second and third connecting, and a block. There we go, Mega. Take it to him. Oh, over the top ropes again.
Not a place you want to be if you're Megablitz.
Now, and Semjax, again, the bloodline lining up, staring daggers. The Goliath Gorm and the Muppet hybrid creature that is Carnival. I'm still trying to figure out Muppet. I think there's some clown in him. According to Sawyer, at least. I mean, that and the fact that he runs the Hot Clown hotline, which the less spoken of, the better. Mega now just begging Semjax to get back in the ring. Going up top. And breaking the count with a swanton. That's one way to do it. And bringing him up. Meanwhile, tweeting out on social media, Carcharodon, come on, Megablitz. I know for... Oh, wait a minute. 1, 2. Kick out of 2. Come on, Megablitz. I know for a fact that you can do better than that, so stop bullshitting and fuck him up somewhat fierce. It's a good thing our show has a mature rating, Pete. Let's. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! That was it. That was the blood trance. And now he is moving in, and it is Embrace the Conqueror locked in. Can Megablitz get out? Oh my God, he is. He's powering out of Embrace the Conqueror. And a takedown, and now Megablitz is going up. Are we going to see maybe? What are we going to see? Oh, Mega Flare! And he was going for the pin, but Boots has distracted the ref by undoing the turnbuckle. Jawbreaker by Sam. That was it. Mega had that one. Mega had a pin for enough time if the ref hadn't been distracted. Oh, no, he's going for it again. Another Embrace he's set up for another Embrace the Conqueror. Locked in again. And a tap out. The hell?
And your winner, and still mega money in the big bank holder, Semjax.
Well, Semjax retains in true Conquest Bloodline fashion. But nothing against Megablitz. Mega fought a great match, and if it hadn't been for that interference, he would have won the match. Well, that's just part of the business, I guess, Pete.
I guess so.
Well, here we are. We've been through it all. We have 2 matches left. And the first one, so this match has a lot riding on it, but not from any kind of titles or stipulations. It's a question of loyalty. We are about to have a trios match. The administration versus Meme. R. Sawyer, either as H.R. Sawyer or R. Sawyer, is a member of both groups. And so now it's the question. Will Sawyer stick with his Robros, or has he thrown himself fully in with the administration? Well, let's not wait to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, let's head down to ringside.
The following is a 6-man tag match. Introducing first, representing the administration, the Toxic Wastelanders.
And here you have it, folks. Gorewheel, the head of legal in the administration, and the main man himself, Big Papa Plutonium, who is Registered Anon's designated pick to take on Zacko Duo for the Multiverse Heavyweight Championship next week. And no, folks, I don't have Michael's full list. Michael says that's part of my reason for being you can't have it. But the Chernobyl Chad, the Atomic Adonis, so many names. Well, here we go. Who's coming out to join them?
And introducing their tag partner, H.R. Sawyer.
Well, I guess Sawyer made his choice. He's abandoned his Robros and is sticking with the administration. So here he is, H.R. Sawyer. That just makes me wonder what this is supposed to be a trios match. Who's gonna help out Meme? Who's gonna help out the mechs? Or is this gonna be a handicap match, 3-on-2?
And introducing their opponents. The main event match.
And there they are. The Multiverse heavyweight champion, Zacko Tuo, and his partner, Malice. All that's left, I guess, of the main event mechs. We don't have any other mechs here on Warzone unless they've gone to Flashbang. Maybe they recruited Lasume or I don't know, Cool J Kyo or Talos or one of the other robots over there.
Maybe they found an ATM that likes to wrestle.
That you know, fair enough. You know, Zacko's not without friends backstage. Maybe they got somebody else with them who's going to join. Or maybe they're just going to go it alone. Just the two of them against, you know, 3 of the most powerful wrestlers in the company. So here we go. So I guess we're about to get our answer. Wait, is it?
And introducing their tag team partner, Ausir.
All right, here we go. Well, that's an explanation. I'd like to know where the other mech came from, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to be happy, very happy that Ausir didn't abandon his rogue bros. There we go, folks. It is going to be main event mechs.exe versus the administration. And we have Rosa saying, I don't believe in the no-win scenario. And starting off, Gorewheel versus Malice. Slamming him down. Well, Pete, now that we have a this swerve, who do you like in this match?
You know, I'm going to have to go with Meme on this.
I think I'm with you. Let's go, boys. Show the admin what they have coming. I mean, I know I should strive to be unbiased, but the administration has been messing with me for weeks. months even. I would love to see them put in their place so I could get back to just booking the show like I'm supposed to. Anyway, and there is Zako Duo feeling pretty good about himself. And Gorewheel taking it to the mech. Our champion.
Tagging in HR Sawyer.
It's going to be weird. We got two Sawyers. I wonder how alike they are. And better yet, where did this one come from? Little questions like that. But meanwhile, here it goes. You know, if here's the thing, the regular R. Sawyer, if anyone would know how to neutralize Zako Duo, it would be him. And here it goes. And wait a minute, what is Gorewheel doing? He's tweeting from ringside, saying, "Don't look at me, Aldini. I'm just doing my job." Something that others don't seem to be doing. All right. I think it's fair to point out that the thing that offended everyone, Richard Anon's statement that mechs don't deserve to be in the title scene, especially not the big title, is not something that was stated by any other admin member. Now, no, that was strictly an Anon thing. And in comes the #1 contender, but he gets to face R. Sawyer, and he slams him down. We know that next week, Big Papa Plutonium will face Zako Duo for the Multiverse Heavyweight Championship. In the meantime, though, he has to face the former Multiverse Heavyweight Champion in R. Sawyer, who is now getting a little cheeky with him, as is Sawyer's fashion. You know, I'm almost worried, Pete, that this was a joke of Sawyer's that got out of hand.
It would not be unheard of.
Or maybe this was something, I don't know, maybe this was part of the anti-clown plan that got away from him. Oh, that would make sense. Maybe he made the copy to fulfill his HR debt while he hunted the clowns, only to come back and find everything just went awry.
Sure, let's go with that.
I have no idea. I'm just throwing stuff out right now. I don't know. I can say I'm surprised. I'm happy to see that Sawyer didn't turn his back on Meme. Okay? That's what I'm saying right now. But I have so many questions. So many questions. Maybe when Michael gets back next week, assuming HR lets him come back next week, we can have him try and get an interview with somebody and get some answers.
Answers would be nice.
I would like answers. Meanwhile, over the top rope, the HR Sawyer held the rope so that Zako would go over. Well, say that.
Sawyer with the low bridge.
Now they are outside. Those two will face each other next week for the belt. The biggest prize in wrestling, the Multiverse Heavyweight Championship. And here he comes. Well, we know what this is.
Papa doing his what he considers flexing.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Half-Life connects. Now going for the pin, but here is, unfortunately, a little too close to Malice. Bringing, and trying to get rid of Malice. Malice like, you spent too long on me. Actually, that's a very unflattering thing. I'm sorry I said that. I will not try and imitate robot speech again. Besides, that sounds nothing like Malice. All right, and here we go. Zacco hitting and bringing Big Papa Plutonium to the memes corner and tagging in his bro. Ladies and gentlemen, the long-standing teamwork of Zacco Duo and R. Sawyer. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to witness the wrath of the undisputed future. Up. Atomic Adonis got out of the way, and now Sawyer's in a bad corner against up there with his doppelganger.
Awful lot of green going on.
That's you know, in a lot of ways, H.R. Sawyer's kind of the odd man out. Okay, and snap takeover, and now Sawyer tagging in Malice. And a hot tag to Gorewheel. The Toxic War Chief, the master of the meat wagon, and the head of MNW Legal. And here is Malice hitting him with malicious intent. And now the blue screen. He's got the blue screen. Oh, is this it? Is this it? Nope, Sawyer's. Yep, H.R. Sawyer's trying to break it up. And now Sawyer, he's not even the legal man, trying to choke out Malice. Ref's trying to get him out of there. Zacco's trying to be helpful and is being told to get out of there. And now, again, at least the legal men are facing each other. And a good old-fashioned pile driver. Gorewheel outside the ring. Malice chasing him. Up! Gorewheel busted open. It's never a good thing when a toxic wastelander's busted open. And here he comes. Gorewheel. I think he just headbutt Malice. What kind of man headbutts a mech? Well, Malice in the ring. I mean, you gotta ask I gotta have to talk to the janitor how he deals with the toxic waste that gets produced by some of these wrestlers.
Surprisingly enough, sawdust still works.
Ah, interesting. And R. Sawyer versus Gorewheel. Gorewheel trying. I think Gorewheel might be just a little thrown off by the fact that he is fighting a variation on his tag partner for this matchup, at least. Okay. Sawyer, getting thrown over, catching himself on the rope, but he's still at the mercy of, Gorewheel decides, come back in here, you get. I feel fairly confident that's exactly what Gorewheel said. And kick. And down he goes. All right, Sawyer is now sizing up the War Chief and getting a lariat for his trouble. Now getting a good stretch out is Sawyer, but he gets loose. going after and get, oh, DDT. Guess, what is that, a rolling DDT, you think, Pete, from Gorewheel? Setting him up. And it is the Gory Impact hit.
2 and 3.
And your winners, the administration.
Well, that's disappointing. But at least Meme is fine. And we can say that factually. Meme is doing, they are still a group with cohesion, but Sawyer's got that unfortunate doppelganger that's part of the administration. I hope we get some clarity on that next weekend. Hang on a second, I'm getting a message. Oh, you gotta... Son of a bitch! Just got a message from Human Resources. Apparently, Registered Anon has pulled some strings. And next week's title match is going to be a special match type. It is going to be a Fallout death match. And here are the specifics. The match will be held in a secure private cooling towers. There will be separate tickets available, but you'll have to sign a waiver because you will be going at your own risk. There will be no disqualification. Falls count anywhere, and there will be a 20-minute countdown that when it reaches 0, the tower will detonate. And if you're left inside, as an audience member, you cannot hold MNW liable for any injuries or death. So, that's why there's waivers. So, yeah. Nope, special match last week by order of the administration. And also tweeting out on social media once he got backstage. Gorewheel, nothing personal, Sawyer, but now we're going to have to do this, well, the old-fashioned way. I don't know. But, anyway, Pete, what do you think of this turn of events?
I don't know where to begin.
I'm right there with you. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But be that as it may, we will persevere. In the meantime, let's go ahead. We have one last match. It's been a long show. We understand that, folks. We have one last match, and it is your main event. And honestly, we'll do this one last social media post, then head to ringside, and that, of course, is coming from Nakano Kirishima, who is saying if the administration wants to run stuff so badly, I say, Jerry, we should give them the most tedious paperwork they can find. Really give them the experience. I think some of them like that. Unfortunately. Anyway, you know what? We have it's time for our main event. Let's head down to ringside.
The following match is your main event. It is for the Big Oof Championship with the added stipulation that the loser will leave MNW. Introducing first, Hightower.
So here he is, folks. Hightower of Chained Hell. He has been one of the original wrestlers in Multiverse Nexus Wrestling. but is not happy because all he has ever had to show for it is a single tag team run, not even singles gold. And of course, the amount of time he was imprisoned by the Inquisition, turns out the conviction that it was eventually overturned when it was proven he was innocent. He's got a few issues, and he has said if he cannot beat Sir McCheese, he feels he doesn't deserve to be here anymore.
And introducing their opponent, they are the Big Hoof Champion, Sir McCheese.
And here he is. Now, an interesting counterpoint. Sir McCheese is also one of the original wrestlers on MNW. He also, prior to this Big Oof run, only had a tag team run. So there's a lot of parallel between his journey and Hightower's. But Hightower did force this in. It is now a loser leaves town match. And while they're getting in the ring, tweeting out on social media, R. Sawyer, a lot of profanity, you, a lot of profanity. Oh, and especially profanity Anon, profanity HR, profanity all of you in the administration. I'm going to Isla Scorn and you can't stop me. All right. I didn't feel like cussing that much. People could see it on screen. So here we go. So Pete, what do you think? I mean, one of these men, their career is over after this match.
That's right. Somebody tonight is leaving MNW.
So here we go. As we get this ritual of the belt completed. Sir McCheese, his first singles title. He has gone up after just about everything in the company, including a epic run after the Multiverse Heavyweight Championship against the MVP. Also getting a tweet out here real quick from OmniGeek. You're welcome for those files, by the way, Jerry. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Also important to note is that we are not seeing Unklydunk nor the Janitor, the former teammates of his, in attendance.
Nope, nor are we seeing
no support for him tonight.
Right, and Constantinople, of course, Constantinople winning his first showcase match at the top of the show. Also suspiciously absent. So both these men going alone. And with that, here we go. Sir McCheese taking an early charge, but Hightower not to be underestimated, and I think McCheese knows that. Coming down, raining blows on the Gouda boy. Going for an early pin. Again, it makes you wonder. Hightower is the one that wanted this stipulation, but I'm wondering if he maybe is having some buyer's regret on getting what he asked for.
That is always a possibility, faced with the cold, hard truth of it all.
I mean, I'm sure part of his thinking is, he, in his heart of hearts, he's got to be convinced that he can take down the best boy here, but McCheese has faced a lot of adversity in his career, and I just don't see him giving up now after he's finally getting some momentum going. And with that, off goes
trucking Sir McCheese.
I mean, Hightower is a powerful and brutal competitor. He's shown that since the beginning. Oh, what a slam! Just throwing McCheese around like a rag doll.
Or a piece of cheese.
True. And McCheese coming back. McCheese, always one of the more popular wrestlers. Back at, he actually holds a record for the most merchandise sold of any wrestler in MNW. Which I hope that maintains. I would hate to think that having a new head of merchandising is going to affect that at all, but we shall see.
We shall indeed. And so far, this has been primarily the Convicts Hightower's match.
It really has. He has been dominating, I guess, giving him a reason for his confidence in calling for this match. So we're getting a tweet from Constantinople. I would be out there, but the Warlock engineers wanted to do some calibration on my augments, so I'm currently stuck at the lab right now. Nevertheless, I'm still cheering on Hightower. Well, that's nice and disturbing at the same time. McCheese trying to gain some momentum here. This isn't just a regular title defense. And
important to note, though, McCheese did not bring out his cheese grater of his abs.
Nope. He decided to keep him covered up. I think he was wanting to avoid any appearance of an unfair advantage. He is nothing else, an upstanding individual.
Well, there's a reason he is considered the Voodoo Boy.
He is. And he is now trying to rally the crowd to his side. Not that they aren't already there, McCheese, but pulling on the neck and now, but knocked down by Hightower. Lifting McCheese up by the helmet and dropping him. One.
Hightower proving he is not a fan of canned cheese.
Still. And just working over, really, let's face it, all those lifts, he's working over McCheese's neck. Now just raining blows down on him. I'm sure even though they're not out here, that both the Janitor and Unklydunk are watching this intently. Both feel a mentorly relationship with McCheese. And I have a feeling if McCheese is driven out of MNW by the end of this match, that Hightower will have a target painted on his back. Wait for the pin. 1, 2. Count at it. Kick out at 2. Now here he goes.
McCheese setting up. Nope. Hightower able to block it.
Both of these men, again, long histories. They've been around as long as MNW has been in existence. In fact, they were with the company before I was hired as a road agent. Not that I ever had any real interaction with Hightower, but McCheese and I, had some nice conversations in the early days. And McCheese managing to knock down Hightower. No easy feat. Now working over the leg. Nothing better than to keep the big man off his feet if he can. And just working over the menace that is Hightower. And And Hightower breaking the camel clutch, getting out. I think it's beginning to set in with Hightower how big a task he set for himself. Shades of strongman earlier in the show. Military press on McCheese. 1, 2, kick out at 2.
Well, as one would expect, there's always going to be a bit more at stake when, you know, you're dealing with an I quit match or with a loser leaves town match.
Yeah, that is a fact. That's why these happen so rarely. And I think it's because in the end, you really can't take it back once you're gone. And then if you come back, you never can be trusted again because you went back on your word. And here comes McCheese. Per stipulations of this match, I just thought of something terrible. If it's done by a count out, McCheese wouldn't lose the belt, but if he leaves town, that would put the Big Oof in limbo.
That it would.
That's a terrible prospect. And a double count out, I'm not sure. We'd have to get a ruling. But both men now back in the ring, so hopefully it won't come to that. McCheese just bringing out, just going for punch and punch and punch, bringing out all the stops. Backbreaker, side Russian leg sweep. McCheese has come too far to lose everything. He implored Hightower not to make this a loser leaves match. So with that, here comes Hightower, lifting up McCheese, slamming him down.
Taking McCheese noon to midnight.
He busted him open.
Yeah, he went for the pin after he busted him open.
That is...
Kick out at 2.
It's just brutality. This is making... this is just nerve-wracking. And yeah, I know we gained a new wrestler today in the form of Alicester Evergreen, but we're about to lose a veteran. One way or the other.
One way or another, yes. Both these men.
So
veterans of this industry.
Kick out at 1. And this isn't just a loser leaves Warzone. This is loser leaves MNW. There's no going over to flashbang after this. 1, 2 more punches, raining punches down on McCheese. Hightower is feeling he's got the advantage now. He's going to capture the belt and end the career of the Gouda boy. 1, kick out at 1. Whipping him into the corner. Punch to the helmet.
Important to note, Hightower does have these massive chains on his arms for that added weight.
Lifting him up. And another military press. Fortunately, McCheese is able to counter with a lariat and bringing the big man down. Just raining blow. Block and slap.
Just slap the taste out of his mouth.
Oh, this doesn't look good.
I'm sure he tasted cheese.
Probably did. Hightower hanging him up. Makes you have to start worrying, where is this going to end? Is McCheese going to be able to get out of this, keep going, or is this the end of the Gouda boy? third military press. And all right, now we at least have a sit-out power bomb by McCheese.
Going in for the pin. Not even a 1.
That shows you the power of Hightower. Now stretching the leg. Again, going for those legs. Good decision when you got a big man like that. Keep him on the ground so he can't use his power advantage. However, Hightower gets out with that power advantage. Oh, good roll. Oh, drop toe hold by McCheese. Now whipping
him over the ropes.
Oh, he was planning something, but Hightower just pushes him away. And, oh, reverse lariat. Oh, inner thigh kick. Again, McCheese working the legs. Throwing him over. Punch. And he is there outside. But again, this can't end outside. Otherwise, we have too many unanswered questions. And dropping on him. McCheese working, doing his best to wear Hightower down. Maybe he can gain an advantage. Punch, kick, punch, punch. Bringing it back in the ring. Going after Hightower. And Hightower retaliates. No! Into that corner goes McCheese. And the reverse lariat of his own. McCheese whips him high and gets an elbow into Hightower's face. All right, and we're going to... One.
McCheese going for... Oh.
Barely 1 count.
Both men seemingly offering no leeway to the other.
No, but as the brutality of this match wears on, you can see both men slowing down. And now, but now it's not looking, after that slam, it's not looking good for McCheese. Hightower's feeling it, picking him up. And just tossing him. 1, 2. Kick out at 2.
Kick out at 2.
Again, working over, picking him up, dropping him down, constantly picking him up by the head. I don't know how much protection the helmet provides for that or not. No, not.
Send him over the guardrail.
Please, no.
Oh, McCheese back over.
And again. Hightower following him, but there's still a count going on. Please, guys, get in. No, please not like this. Get back in the ring. One of you get in there before the count's over. We're already up to a 7 count. McCheese. Oh, Hightower jumping in the ring. McCheese following. Whew.
Both deciding best not to take too many more chances with that.
That was good. Backbreaker and side Russian leg sweep by McCheese. Slamming the arm. McCheese is trying to build some momentum. He's going to have to do something. Hightower just seemingly refusing to go down. Kick out at 2. And, oh no, oh no, oh no. Brutal. You know.
Backbreaker.
Yeah. Oh. And, oh. Here comes McCheese. Come on, McCheese, do something. Oh, DDT. Shades of his mentor, the Janitor. 1, 2. Kick out at 2. McCheese. Oh, he's setting up. Oh, McCheese. McCheese, are you going to pull it off? Are you going to pull it off?
Oh, I think it's time for Sword in the Stone.
I think you're right, ladies and gentlemen. Can he get him up? Yep. Sword in the Stone. And, oh, what is it? 1, 2, 3.
Your winner and still Big Hoof champion, Sir McCheese.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Gouda Boy wins and retains the title and keeps his job. This is a bittersweet moment, because congratulations, McCheese, but farewell to Hightower. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a hell of a main event. That was a nail biter if there ever was one. Social media going crazy. So just before the end of that match, Graven tweeted out, let's be honest, I'm sure if Hightower wins tonight, it'll be more than make up for that whole Money in the Bank cash-in debacle. Maybe. More importantly, you have Sir Unklydunk tweeting out, McCheese, never scare me like that again. So we have one last announcement before we roll the carpet for tonight and go home. Next week, not only will you see a match for the Unified Tag Team Championship, not only will there be the Fallout Death Match for the Multiverse Heavyweight Champion, we are kicking off a new tournament, and this tournament is happening. We have everything lined up. Ladies and gentlemen, we are announcing the King's Road Tournament next week. 8 participants. Brackets will be released on the MNW Discord. Round 1 starts next week. The winner of the King's Road Tournament will be the next #1 contender for the Multiverse Heavyweight Championship. So with that, it has been an insane day. I need to go get a good stiff drink after everything that's happened today. So for Pete McPherson and the absent Michael Montoya, I am Jerry Aldini. Ladies and gentlemen, good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the Multiverse Nexus Wrestling YouTube channel. If you like this video, go ahead and drop a like, share the video, subscribe to the channel for more, and ring that bell to get notified whenever we post a new video. This has been Joe, signing out.